looks like it's Whitey, Andrew White, Ash Bergmeyer, the 92 car of Andrew, 92 of, where's he gone? Here he is, Jimmy Harris in the 92. We've got a couple on the infield. 7 cars starting. They're not running the full 10.
Yeah, it looks as though we'll split the field over the course of the heat races tonight, Maury. I would imagine that each driver will get 3 heat races over the 4.
Yeah, it's funny how I was told one thing and they've done it totally different to what I was told. But anyway, I can live with anything. And the yellows are out. We are about to go racing. Kim Jury's the man on pole to set them loose. They come around. Ash Bergmeyer, Lucas Roberts sitting in behind them. Got White on the outside. Harris, he's a newcomer to the ranks, but who knows how quick he is. The green is down and Jury gets a really good start there. I think Ben got caught napping a little bit. Will they let him keep going? I think they will. So it's out in front at the moment. Kim Jury from Ben Forkhead. Here comes Lucas Roberts. Ash Bergmeyer moves up on Roberts. Then we go back to Callum Harper on the low line. Harper's just biding his time. He's got plenty of time to get there. And Callum Harper sits back there in 5th position at the moment with White and Harris at the back. Kim Jury still hanging in there nicely at the moment. 2 car lengths from Ben Forkhead, the older car. Much older car, but it's doing a good job there. Roberts runs that mid-track. He's not down on the pole, and Ash Bergmeyer has a bit of a look on the inside of Lucas Roberts. They come down into turns 1 and 2 again. Ash Bergmeyer and Harper sits on the back of Lucas Roberts. Harper goes with Roberts as they come round. Obviously still got to bide their time with drive. They're not anywhere near times at the moment. 26.31 for Kim Jury. So the track a little bit greasy. Ben Forkhead puts the nose in front of Jury. Jury got out wide and opened it right up. Ben Forkhead into the lead goes Ben in the 41 car. So Ben Forkhead, I don't think there's too often Ben's led a race with the talent behind him that he's got. As Kim Jury works him over, as Ash Bergmeyer and Lucas Roberts side by side. Harper now switches to the low line, has a bit of a look and slips straight through on Lucas Roberts and goes with Ash Bergmeyer. Roberts going to have his work cut out. It's still Ben Forkhead out in front. Jury trying to get past him. See the horsepower and the things when the track's a little bit greasy, it changes the racing line. Roberts still running that high line and it's not working for him at the moment. Track a little bit greasy still, but it'll come to him. Ben Forkhead, still our leader. 5 laps, 6 laps down now. Should be 2 to go. White out next time around. Roberts has slowly worked his way from 3rd back to way near the back. He's probably thinking about how much money he's put into the modified title. No, he's a great sponsor and great to have him there, the Bendigo Metal Fabrications. As Ben Forkhead takes the white flag, 1 to go for Ben, and he's doing a great job there. Kim Jury trying everything to get under him and just can't do it. Ash Bergmeyer sits back in 3, Callum Harper's in 4, and this, as I say, race times at the moment, 20.631, 20.214 for Callum Harper. 20.211 as the checkered flag falls for Ben Forkhead. Takes the win, his first win here in quite a long time, I think, for Ben, but a good run there for the V41 of Ben Forkhead. From Kim Jury in the South Australia 93 will pick up 2nd, 3rd place going to Ash Bergmeyer in the 16 car, with Callum Harper rounding them out top 4 in the 22 car.
Number 2 in your program, and heat race number 19 for your modified sedans. Your heat race grid for heat number 19 will look like this. In pole position, driving the V45 is Sean Thompson, and on his outside, driving the V19, David Smith. Inside row number 2, your reigning national modified sedan champion, Kai Walters, and on his outside, out of Waka Waka, New South Wales, driving the N number 0, Ty Galley. Inside row number 3, driving the Queensland 108 is Alex Sweeney, and on his outside, driving the V15 is Dale Hallett. Inside row number 4, driving the V67, is Corey Knox, and on his outside, in the little red Tirana, the V56 of Graham West, rounding out your field. Driving the V87 is Aaron Bunton. Yellow lights are out. Heartland Raceway, Moama. Opening heat race, night number 2. Let's get it on. Smith with a good launch. Here comes Walters up the inside. Oh, we are set for a belter. 4 wide through turns 1 and 2. Will we continue with the start? I think we will so far. Into 3 and 4. Your race leader is Kai Walters from David Smith, Sean Thompson, Alex Sweeney, and it's a gaggle of cars at the tail, Jared.
Yeah, very, very messy start. Walters out the front doing everything he needs to do here, sitting 9th on points at the moment and bagging 36 big ones, and this will be important. Ty Gully, who started 4th and sits 4th on points, shuffled to the back of the bus. So a lot of work to do for the little Exodus. Westy's upstairs on Corey Knox. We're 3 across the track for second last position. West gets around a couple and sets his sights on Hallett. But at the moment it's the defending national champion Kai Walters out the front with a big gap. Back to David Smith out of Mildura. Thompson runs 3rd, Sweeney 4th. And the front 4 cars have got quite the gap back to Westy. The Tirana running 5th.
It's picture perfect right now for the national champion. It's exactly as he wants it. Sean Thompson goes around. We're going to go yellow, as does Dale Hallett. That slick surface right now as the moisture starts to come to the top. Starting to catch a few of them out, Jared. There's a bit of a groovy racing line running through the tail of this field where they're just bouncing off each other through the top and bottom.
Counter. Well, and that bad fast AU Falcon is out front at the moment. Has David Smith got anything for him? Has Alex Sweeney got anything for him? Smith is locked into the back half of the A-main at the moment. He'll want to consolidate here with a 2nd place as we get back underway in heat race 19. We file into turns 1 and 2. Sweeney, West and Hallett looks as though they'll battle it out for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Bunton going with them as well. A little bit of telltale smoke from the back end of the Hallett machine as he just washes off the bottom and gives Bunton a sniff down the main straightaway, and Bunton will convert that to 5th place. Westy looks good on the bottom. Liam, has Westy got something for Sweeney?
And of course it was Graham West that took out the opening heat race yesterday as well in the first round, so there's something to keep your eyes on. Graham West on a fresh racetrack. He's very fast at the wheel of that Tirana. He sets his sights on Alex Sweeney right now in the Commodore that runs 3rd. And they're all bunched up behind David Smith. Hallett having a big crack and finds a lot of curb in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That second group of 4 cars are locked together and all trying to buy that 2nd place spot. I don't think Sweeney has the speed for Smith, but West is all over Sweeney right now. The Genesis Equipment Queensland 108, the bright orange Commodore, has West and Aaron Bunton tucked right in tight.
Yeah, Bunton trying to buy in here. Westy on the back bumper of the Commodore. The Tirana's giving him the hurry up. Bunton gets in there as well and makes some room for himself. There's 3 laps left to run in the opening heat race on night number 2. Westy goes upstairs in the Tirana. He's opened the door for Bunton. A little bit of push on turn entry for the Bendigo 56, and the Tirana gets shuffled back to 5th as Bunton moves through to 4th now and tries to capitalise on his car's good drive off the corner. He's tight in the middle of the turn, but he has purchased down the straightaway as they'll get the white flag next time past the strike.
That Dynamite Performance 87 of Bunton is as fast as I've seen it lately. He's got the hands on a rocket ship right now. Your national champion's going to greet the white flag this time. Kai Walters dominating heat race number 19 from David Smith in 2nd. The battle's still on between Bunton and Sweeney. Holden versus Ford there in 3 and 4. They're going at it right to the line through 3 and 4 for the final time. Kai Walters is going to claim heat race number 19, and that's an important batch of points. Bunton looks topside on Sweeney, not going to happen. David Smith finished 2nd from Alex Sweeney, from Aaron Bunton, from Graham West, Dale Hallett. Ty Galley has a race he'd like to forget, and Corey Knox Rounding out your field, heat race number 19, going the way of Kai Walters.
Yes, you said it, Liam. An important batch of points for Kai Walters. And bang, he goes straight to the top of our progressive leaderboard. 104 points to Kai Walters' name. And he throws that out there and says, see what you can do with that, everyone. We'll chat to him in Victory Lane right after our sponsors.
So as he removes the helmet now and receiver as well, let him hear you, ladies and gentlemen, at Heartland Raceway, Moama. The national champion gets the job done, Kai Walters. Mate, you had to do that one, didn't you? Made it look easy in the end. You just dominated, but she was a tough opening few laps for you.
Yeah, no, we were not down on points, but we're not quite as close to the front as we wanted, so hopefully that helped out a heap. Just a big shout out to the whole team working on the car. It's been a monumental effort just to get here, so huge thanks to everyone back in the pits and all my family and everyone supporting us. Yeah, good job to the track crew. I think it'll come in a lot better than yesterday, and can't wait for later.
Mate, how much does this event play on your mind? You've been able to hold that number one for the last few years now. Do you regret leading up to it? Do you not look forward to this event, or do you really look forward to being able to defend that title and claim another?
No, I look forward to it. There's always doubters you've got to prove wrong, so if I can keep it again, I'll be stoked, and yeah, see how the final goes later on.
Doing everything right so far. Kai Walters, good luck later on, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Weeks will round out your field here. It's certainly plenty of drivers who are currently sitting in the A main on points. It makes it a very, very torrid heat race here for heat number 20 at the Bendigo Metal Fabrication National Modified Sedan title. Parko in desperate need of some points here. And Cockrell, Jorgensen, Atkin trying to consolidate. The big mover and shaker starting down deep in this one is the Superior Painting. Number 15 out of Grafton in northern New South Wales. The former national champion Max Clark is going to get up on the wheel. And that big VF Commodore is going to get some boogie about it here as we're set to go in heat race 20. For the National Modified Sedan title in front of a big, big crowd here at Heartland Raceway in Moama. Green flag is out and we're underway as Cockrell sets the agenda rail. He puts it on the bottom. Parko's going to turn around and turn one and we're all going to pile in. And that goes to show everything on the line here in this last round of heats, Liam. Nobody gave an inch into turn one on that initial start.
You're right, that curb really came into effect, didn't it? Cockerell tried to use every piece of that bottom racing line. I think possibly it was Parkinson that just grabbed a bit of the slick as well. I don't think there was as much in it as there looked. There was a lot of curb used by Cockerell, and I think Parkinson was just in that slick side of the racetrack there and then and trying to cover that inside lane, and that bunches the whole field together, and there's a lot of collateral damage there from cars that just had no business being there. Stan family working hard on that car down in the pits. So down the back straight away, lights are out. For heat race number 20, presented by Allstone Quarries. Ready for a launch. It's Cockerell and Reich from Atkin and Jorgensen. Clark, Wicks and Mortimer ready for a start. Is it going to be to turn number one? It's a good even launch by Reich and Cockerell, but Cockerell's the first car there. Jorgo's on the bottom. It's a big lane change from Adam Jorgensen. Locks it to the bottom and he's up to P2. Here comes Tim Atkin now as well. Atkin battling with Reich side by side. The 3 and 4, Max Clark locked to the bottom in behind him. Wicks is in there as well. He has right front fender damage. He's going to be sitting right in his racing line view. Max Clark goes to work on Reich. Meanwhile, your battle for the lead, Jared, is Jorgo going after Cockerell.
Yeah, impressive conversion on the start there from Jorgensen. Started in P4 and exited into the back straight away in position number 2. Did the big lane swap on turn entry into 1 and 2 as he's pressuring the back of Nick Cockerell now. 1, 2, 3 and 4 all in the top 15 in points here, so a critical heat race in deciding the starting grid in the National Modified Sedan title. Jorgensen gives Cockerell a hurry up in the AC Delco Commodore. Better get the skates on because there's 3 bad fast hot rods Cranked right on the back bumper. Jorgensen a little unsettled on turn entry that time. And Cockerell gets himself half a car length breathing spaces. Jorgensen closes right back in here, gives him the heave-ho. Has he got something for Cockerell down the main straightaway? It's an action-packed front four here.
Jorgensen has cracking entry speed. Cockerell leads off the corner, but the entry speed that Jorgo has is unmatched by the rest of this field right now. Atkin doing his best job at locking that battle in for a chance at it himself as well. Cockerell, a big hop off the curb. And down the main straightaway, the AC Delco Commodore under heavy pressure from the Q25. Atkins in there, Max Clark in there as well. Down the back straightaway we run. It's still Cockerell from Jorgo. Atkin, Clark, back to Reich, Wicks and Mortimer. Continually working over the 11 of the Commodore. Is there enough laps left?
4 to run here for Cockerell, who's locked out on the bottom. Going to make everyone work hard and go the top side, but Jorgensen determined to make it a battle here at the front. Gets in, rides the brake, gives Cockerell a little nudge. Atkin gets in there as well as Clark. Cockerell's backing the field up as Chris Reich and Wicks buy into this as well. 3 to run this time by Jorgensen. Still hunting on the bottom, and the little Cortina is hooked up to perfection down the back straightaway. Diamonds the car in from the higher entry and tries to make some room underneath Cockerell because Cockerell's way too free with 2 to run.
Into 1 and 2, the AC Delco Commodore continues to lead, but it's a gridlock in behind. Back straight away we run. What has the Cortina got in store? He's working over the rear bumper of Cockerell. Is it going to be enough? White flag waves this time. Down the main stretch into 1 and 2 for the final time. Has Jorgensen got the move? Down the back straightaway, it's still Cockerell. Nick just needs to do everything right here and keep it locked on the bottom. Atkins right in this one. The Cortina's right into the bumper. Coming off turn 4, it's going to be Cockerell. Nick Cockerell gets the job done. From Adam Jorgensen, Tim Atkin, Max Clark, Chris Reich, Michael Wicks, Alan Mortimer, and I tell you what, Jared, we've got our first returning heat race winner.
Yeah, very impressive there from Nick Cockerell, the first man to get 2 heat race wins across the course of the weekend. And our progressive point score puts Max Clark level on the top of the points tally with Kai Walters at the moment, and it'll come down to lap time to separate those two. So Clark and Kai Walters level on the point score at the moment. And we'll chat with Nick Cockerell in Victory Lane right after this short commercial break.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Heartland Raceway, we're going to get our first returning heat race winner, and that comes in the form of the AC Delco number 11 of Nick Cockerell. Nick, how good's that feel, mate? 2 heat race wins at the National Modified Sedan title.
Yeah, it feels great. Maybe really needed it. We were 14th on points, so hopefully they'll consolidate us in the A main. But yeah, that was a bit of a pressure cooker. My back bumper was getting a bit of work out there, but I was lucky to stay on line and bring her home.
Mate, exactly right. You did everything you needed to, consolidated some good points. Of course, you put it on pole position at the Victorian title. This is the one to make amends of that, and 2 heat race wins is nothing to be sneezed at.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I'd like to thank all my sponsors on the car. Like I think last night, especially Mick and Joe's Tyre Power for coming on board, all my crew, all the other sponsors on the car, Max Fry, AC Delco, everyone helps us out, Peter in the pits. Yeah, thanks everyone. Hope we put on a show for you.
We'll see you in the main event. Nick Cockerell driving the AC Delco Commodore number 11, your first pair of...
This one.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line, isn't there? It's a pretty funny image we got from the boys here on the camera of the left rear quarter of Cockerell's just been rubbed bright yellow by the Cortina there in that previous race. Just goes to show how much pressure Nick Cockerell was under by Jorgo in the Cortina. This one not too far away. That black left rear quarter was just bright yellow from the paint of the Cortina. Was under pressure, heavy, set for a start. Oh, they're all bunched up. It's going to be a shocker. Can we get them sorted? It's David Head and Tristan McGraw on the front row. Somehow that's come to the line nicely. Matt Gerlach up the inside in turn number 1, puts the move on McGraw, and that Octane Alley Commodore is on the move.
Gerlach through to second as Tangles capitalises on that front row start. Runs a little wide in 3 and 4, but look at that. There's something in that middle lane here at Heartland. The D&M Plant Hire 24 runs the middle in 3 and 4 and keeps the lead. Gerlach locked on the bottom in the Octane Alley 14, pressuring for the lead. Back to McGraw and Paul. Nicolaisen in there as well as Darcy Wilson. A very critical battle for 4th, 5th and 6th in this one, but Tangles leads the way.
D&M Plant Hire 24 looking solid on the bottom right now, but he's got a very fast Octane Alley AP14 in behind him, hammering away. Can he get that open lane and sail by, because the Commodore is a lot quicker in a straight line right now, but Tangles has that good line and no way past so far for Gerlach. He's trying to open up that inside lane exiting the corner. He's bringing in that much higher corner entry and trying to diamond it off, lock it off on the bottom and move by the inside exiting the corner. It hasn't worked yet, but he's right in striking range of Tangles.
And Darcy Wilson goes upstairs and makes the move. Wilson impressive the last couple of laps, running the middle lane upstairs on Nicolaisen. Wilson will challenge for 5th down the back straightaway, gets his nose chopped as he gets squeezed against the outside wall. Wilson stays upstairs. We've got a racetrack coming here at Heartland Raceway, and Wilson in the V5 levels up with Nicolaisen into 1 and 2. They're all stacked up here for the first 7 spots. Wilson and Nicolaisen still side by side here for 4th and 5th as they hammer down at a 3 and 4. We'll check another lap off the counter. Tangles checks the car mid-corner. We're still side by side for 4th and 5th, or 5th and 6th I should say. McDonald trying to buy in as well, and look at this, we're too wide for 3rd now as Jamie Paul rides the curb. There's dramas for Matt Gerlach, and he may not go the distance here, Liam.
Yeah, something's collapsed in the left rear corner. There's tyre smoke rubbing away on the AB14. Wow, that's going to be a tough break for Matty. Definitely collapsed the left rear corner, and that tyre is rubbing away on the body. Just needs to finish this one. He's got a heat race under his belt after a win yesterday. It is smoking up. It's Summernats down the back straightaway from Matt Gerlach. Now, Tristan McGraw right on the tail of Tangles. Here comes Darcy Wilson now. Stay up the top, son.
McGraw, Wilson and McDonald all made hay while the sun was shining on them and went to the top lane. They cleared 2 or 3 cars each. Wilson, McGraw and McDonald all buy into this battle at the front here. Tangles locks the big XF Falcon on the bottom, and the crowd goes to work with 2 to run. Make that 1 as the white flag comes out. There's a 4-car go for the lead here in Heat Race 21. Tangles has some breathing space. McDonald's got problems now. He's going to pull to the infield and lose a swag of points. McGraw and Wilson make contact into turn 3, and Tangles is going to win Heat Race 21. Wilson with a ripping drive through to 2nd, and Tristan McGraw rounds out the top 3. Back to Nicolaisen. Paul Gerlach finishes with an ailing car. What a helter-skelter heat race, Liam. As the checkered flag is coming out now. I'm not 100% sure on the timing in that one, as I might have gone a lap early, Liam, but the result stays the same.
You see the finish from Gerlach there. Now, I'm not sure either which was the recorded lap. We've got 2 checkered flag laps possibly. So that was monumental. Did Liam Murphy back down? Because of the initial waving, he's come to a stop on the main straightaway. But that was an epic finish. We'll have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll grab a chat with Tangles, who'll be stoked with the heat race win on night number 2. So as he removes the helmet from the D&M Plant Hire Q24, taking out heat race number 21, presented by Midland Contractors. David Head gets the job done in heat race 21. You've got to be happy with that one, Tangles.
Yeah, finally, last night just hard heats, and yeah, figured out a lot from last night. When the track gets slick like this, it's going to go off. But yep, happy, good to come down finally for Australian title. Big drive down, but thanks for mate Baldwin for crewing for me all weekend, and all the other Queenslanders, and thank you to the track for putting the show on.
So good to still see the XF getting around, mate. There's not many of yous left, but it's always good to see this thing rattling the doors of the new gen cars.
Yeah, they're still a very competitive car, these older cars, especially slick track. If you can figure them out, you really can't beat the old methanol engines.
Good luck in the rest of the night, mate. Hopefully we can see you up in the main event later on. We'll grab a photo with this heat race winner board there for event number 4 in your program. Heat race 21, that was presented by Midland Contractors.
Jimmy Harris. Good to see Lionel West back. A fierce competitor. He had an awesome little hatchback Tirana, turbocharged hatchback Tirana back in the old Bendigo days. I gave him a black flag once and I wasn't his best friend for a long time, but he's a fierce competitor and he's at the back of the pack at the moment. But Lucas Roberts will bring them around. This is the second heat of the Super Sedans. Lucas Roberts to lead them away. Still under yellow at this stage. Still under yellow. They roll around. Keep your eye on that one, that South Australia Victoria 1 car of Mick Nicola Jr. He's a driver on the charge lately. He's been really going well. Some days we have a race where we have Mick Nicola Sr., Mick Jr., Junior's uncle Peter Nicola, and his other brother. I can't think of the name at the moment, but I've had 4 of them in a race before today. And Nicola's great supporters of Super Sedan. Green flags at the ready as they roll out of turn 3 and 4. And we are racing. Lucas Roberts and White at the front. White's got the jump on Roberts as they go round, and Nicola Jr. up on the high line trying to get the drive. Ben Forkhead's got this car flying. Won the first heat, if you weren't here, in the 41 car, and doing a great job now. Nicola's got it wound up and gets it going. But out in front, Andrew White, he's flying. An 18.708, fastest car around Heartland this weekend is that last lap of Andrew White's. So the Super Sedans are starting to work this track. He goes through to no improve 18.707 now. So he is on fire, Andrew White. 19.093 for Lucas Roberts, back in second spot. And we've got the 41 car going round down the bottom. Yellows are on. Yellows come on.
How much different is this racetrack right now too, Maury, compared to their first heat race? We're really getting a true sense now of the Super Sedans and just how much they can rumble Heartland Raceway, Moama. Lucas Roberts and Mick Nicola going to work so far in this one. Well, tucked into 2 and 3.
This is it, the track now, as you can see, it is starting to open up. We watched in that last modified race. They were starting to feel brave and get out there. The Supers are out there now, they're out there, and it's working. It's starting to come together, it is working. So, Ben Forkhead, I didn't see what happened there. I was looking at my monitor to have a look at times, and I missed that. But as I said, 18.708, 707. Is Andrew White's best time, and you know that's the quickest time around here all weekend so far. Righto, Ben Forkhead puts himself on the end of the bus, the back of the bus at the moment, as they will roll around one more time under yellow, and we'll get back into it. So it's White, Roberts, Nicola, Forkhead at the back, at Bergmeyer, West, Jury, Harris, and Ben at the back of the bus. So Andrew White, he's certainly got this New South Wales number 23 fired up, and shorter wheelbase than some of the other cars. When you look at them from over here, well, it's the illusion of shorter, and I think it is. Green flag is down, and we're away again. White leads him away. Roberts, White, have a look where he's gone. Way up high. There goes White. Here comes Nicola Jr. 3 wide of the Supers as they go down the back straight. Roberts looking dangerous there. They drift him out high. Here comes Nicola Jr. He says, I'll have a bit of that real estate. Drops down low. They do the switch. Roberts tries to come under him. Gets it up there, and Roberts is back into it again. Roberts and Nicola down the back straight, side by side. Roberts into the corner first. Nicola's out there. Have a look at White. He's way up high now, and this will work this track in beautiful. Roberts on that low line now. Nicola gets pushed out. Ashbergmeyer comes into the equation. Here comes Lucas Roberts on White now. Gets a beautiful drive out of turn 2. Picks up a lot of ground. White not wanting to stay down low. He's running it nice and high. And I reckon he's loving it too. Ashbergmeyer sits back in 4th. We've got Lionel West up into 5th. Jury. Something went pop over there. Was that a tyre? Well, what did I hear? But our leader is still White. White from Roberts back to Nicola. Back to Ashbergmeyer. Lionel West back to Jury. West got that car cranked right up too. Back to Harris and Ben at the back of the bus. Lucas Roberts now looking for that big slingshot. He comes up high and runs it around. Loses a bit of ground to White. Did not quite work. 2 laps left to run in this race now as they go down the back straight, and Andrew White hanging on to this lead. He grabbed it at the start and he has not given it up. Ashbergmeyer sitting back watching everything happen. Lucas Roberts now having a bit of a look down low, right on the back bumper of White. What can he do? Peels it in nice and tight. Lucas Roberts has got the low line there side by side as they race down the back straight. It is a drag. Roberts goes in deep. Very deep. They'll do the switch, but Roberts, has he got the drive? They run to the line. Lucas Roberts takes it out from Andrew White. Mick Nicola Jr., Ashbergmeyer, Lionel West just gets over the line over Kim Jury, Jimmy Harris, Ben Forkhead. So great race there.
Charlie here on Heat Race 22, Liam, set to jet on the final night.
2 heat race winners in this one. Are we looking for another new heat race winner as we light the tyres for Heat Race 22, presented by Rich River Dealers? We're green with Ellis and Shelford off the start. It's a better one by Shelford. Here comes the Hulk up the inside. Shane Roycroft pedals the AU Falcon to the bottom. That big rear spoiler on the Hulk 82, and he's ripping up to P2. Shelford continues to lead. He's going to carry the opening lap and put her in the books. Shane Roycroft runs second from Steve Ellis, and Brodie Christie is up to position number 4. Lockie Fitzpatrick's got a handful with Redcliffe at the tail, and here comes Christie putting the move on Ellis.
The Perry Family Farms, number 32, locked on the bottom. He gets to the inside of the Statesman, who hangs way out sideways down the main straightaway. And Christie moves through to position number 3. Mick Johnson gets shuffled by Brad Warren into turn 1 that time. And as we run down the back straightaway, it's Shelford from Roycroft back to Christie. Ellis under pressure from McCarthy and Brad Warren. Brad Warren looks impressive in this one.
Firing through traffic, he's got Wayne McCarthy in front. Steve Ellis banks him up. McCarthy goes to the top side. On Ellis, rips back by. We have a racetrack on our hands now. Warren up the inside on Ellis. Wayne McCarthy ripping the top side by Ellis onto the main straightaway. What speed has the McCarthy Falcon got for the field? If anything, Brodie Christie starts to gain on Shane Roycroft now. That's the battle for 2 and 3. It's half a straightaway's distance right now, and Shelford has them covered into Queensland 25. 54 make that, Queensland number 1.
Shelford doing everything he's got to do at the moment in the Pro 1 race parts. Number 1 got really out of shape there on turn entry into 1 and 2. Shelford settles the car and gets good purchase off the corner. Roycroft drives it in nice and square as well. A lot of attitude on the car for Brodie Christie, but then a big mid-corner push as we start to learn the behaviours of the front 3 cars here. Track has some character down the bottom of 1 and 2, and that's throwing a little bit of something extra for these drivers to work out as they traverse the track for heat race 22. Be 3 to run this time by, Liam.
Oh, this is going to be good. Christie v Roycroft. These two face off regularly in the modified sedan ranks, and now they go to work for position 2 and 3. Here comes Brad Warren now, and Wade McCarthy as well. That's P4 and 5 down the back straight away. Christie starts to put heavy pressure on Roycroft. It's a clean racer is Christie's, not rubbing the bumper, just sitting back enough. And certainly within striking range of the Roycroft 82, we're going to go yellow. It's Johnson in the 32 in the middle of turns 3 and 4, parked against the curb. I missed that one, Jared, as we were following the leaders.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mick Johnson in the east to west transport, number 32. A very neatly presented car, hailing from Broome in far northern Western Australia, and looking to, which means he can convert that into plenty of drive down the back straight away and just gap Shane Roycroft a little bit behind him as we're going to go green-white checker here to the finish in heat race 22, and Shelford gets another good start. Roycroft free on entry, and that invites Brody Christie to have a look up the inside of the 82. Roycroft, plenty of purchase, and we're going to go yellow as the number 11 of Fitzpatrick is hiding down in the turns 1 and 2. Haven't quite got the best vantage point from up in the tower here into turns 1, Liam.
The sun's beaming down on that corner as well from the infield. It's not what those guys needed at all. Lockie Fitzpatrick in that V11 as he rolls through the infield now. Just get a quick check over. Just having a look at the left front corner start. It is always a cool addition that the national champion is able to defend that title no matter what. So
well, he's going all right. He's currently equal top points, so he's not doing too bad, Liam.
Should be pretty happy with that one. I think the whole family be back behind him. Shelford ready for the start. The Pro 1 race parts. Number 54, Shane Roycroft gets a good launch. Right up the inside, grabs a heap of curb. Wow, Shelford had a big push into 1 and 2. Then opened the door in a big way for Roycroft. Here comes Brody Christie now. We have a race on our hands with only 1 to run this time.
The Rod Scheffler Automotive Commodore of Shelford tight on entry again. Look at the push mid-corner, but he hooks up and drives away down the back straightaway. Roycroft in the Falcon and Christie behind him have no answers. And the reigning Queensland champion will finally get a marker on the board. Mick Shelford will win heat race 22. Roycroft home in second, Christie in third with the swagger points. Back to McCarthy, Brad Warren, Ellis, Mick Johnson, Radcliffe, Fitzpatrick. Rounding out your field is Peter Angus in an entertaining heat race 22. Mick Shelford. For Pro 1 Race Parts, our presenting sponsor for Speedway Sedans Live, he'll join Liam in victory lane right after this.
So, as the Queensland champion removes the balaclava, and we'll be able to have a chat now. He'll be able to hear your Heartland Raceway Moama make plenty of noise for Mick Shelford, who takes out heat race number 22. He's going to receive a Speedway Australia cap as well. Man, that was a hard pedal. You had a fair bit of push coming off the corner at times, but she hooked up and drove off the corner pretty good.
Yeah, we probably struggled with a bit of balance all weekend, really, so lucky to get away with that one, and we needed the points, so hopefully that can get us somewhere up in the B.
Mick, who have you got to thank, mate? It can't be easy bringing the hauler down from Queensland and coming here to New South Wales in Moama.
Yeah, big thanks to all the crew, because I couldn't come down with the car, and those guys have been working their butts off, so thanks so much, and to Pro 1 Race Parts, and Rod Scheffler Automotive, all the people that help us out, thanks so much.
That's a solid bank of points, mate. Hopefully we can see you make it into the big dance later on tonight.
Thank you.
Mick Shelford, ladies and gentlemen, the Queensland champion. The Pro 1 Race Parts, he's going to receive his heat race win aboard in a quick photo.
So Waters looking for a top 3 to go to the top of the leaderboard here. In night number 2 of the National Modified Sedan title, Liam, it's all to play for with 2 heats to run.
Could the Waters family be looking at a second National Modified Sedan title? It's all going to come down to this one. Jared Waters needs to put his best foot forward if he's to take out that pole position in the all-important main event. Talia Dolic and Angus Waters with the big launch up the inside, has plenty of berm. He's up to P3, inside Darren Lester on the top side. Dolic and Angus are side by side. Have a look at the speed of the Merc now with yellow.
Wow. Big moment here in the national title. We've gone yellow. I can only assume for the start in heat race 23. Clearly the chief steward saw something he wasn't happy with, Liam.
If you wanted to point any fingers, there was probably a few. It was a lively launch, wasn't it? It's exciting from the Merc. Man, the thing's a bullet at the end of the straights.
Yeah, the
Melbourne. The black and white flag is at the ready too.
Ooh.
Or it's getting put back away.
Warning flag. We're going to go green this time, I would imagine. Right. But I dare say they've been dished out the warning over the one-way communicator. What have we got in store? First attempt at a restart here in heat race 23 of the Bendigo Metal Fabrication National Modified Sedan title. Dolic and Angus get us underway. And this time it's a little bit more civilised into 1 and 2. Lester on the bottom, Kevy Young there as well as Mick Boyle looks to the outside, and Waters tries to make some forward progress here.
How's the straightaway speed on Waters? Just ripping by Boyle. Oh, it's heavy contact on the right rear corner of Waters, but he's up to position number 3. Talia Dolic tries to put the move back by on the inside. Angus leads from Leicester. Darren Lester from Queensland putting a heavy charge on Scott Angus, and Jared Waters on that outer group with Talia Dolic peppering away the 92 right now.
Oh, Lester's done! Big contact with Scott Angus, and that will mark the end of Darren Lester's heat race. Right front, knocked out of the Brisbane Air Conditioning 59, and Lester's weekend has just gone from bad to worse. He is filthy on the infield.
Rightly so. That's when it all matters. That final heat race on night number 2 is not how you want to see that Q59. He's going to struggle to get it pointing the right way. He's done a good job of that, actually, to reset the front end.
So Waters, as he runs in second, will go to the top of the charts, and that'll open up the opportunity for Brett Barron in the final heat race to jump to the top. Angus gets us back underway here in heat race 23, and Jared Waters in the 92 sets to go about his business here. A little tight on entry that time. I'm going to go yellow, start not to the chief steward's liking. And just of note, Brock Atkins still languishing a long way back in this one. He's got a lot of work to do with 8 laps still on the counter, Liam.
Yeah, exactly right. I spoke with Brock earlier today. Doesn't talk himself up a lot, but if anything, he was certainly the other way today. He's not super confident with that car right now. Todd Atkins, on the other hand, his younger brother, much happier with the way that car's been responding for him and the way he's been able to let it move freely up and down the racetrack. Brock Atkins has a handful, however, and needs to really make the most of the points in this one and try and get that Portland number 0 firing the right way.
Sits 5th in this one, and that'll convert himself to a handy A-main start if he stays there, but we'll be chasing a little bit more in this one as we're set to get back underway here, Liam.
Oh, they're bunched up. Boyle got heavy into the tail of Dolic. That just gridlocked down the bottom. Everyone's glued to that line, and it's a conga line of crazy right now behind Angus, Waters, Dolic. Have a look at Boyle go to the top as well. Atkins by on the bottom. This is exactly what Brock Atkins needs. That last push to stamp some points in the books for the Portland number 0. He's firing away at the bottom. Waters continues to go to work on Angus. Doesn't need to win this one, but you'll bet he'll have a crack.
Yeah, Waters, I don't think he'll be happy to sit there, but Dolic looking good. Look at Boyle on the outside. Goes from 5th up into 3rd and caught Dolic napping there. We've got a middle lane here, Liam, as Boyle goes around the outside. And that little green Commodore that could moves through to position number 3. Atkins tries to buy in here now as well. and won't come off the bottom as he slips up the inside of Talia Dolling.
Love to see it from Boyle, ripping the top side of this joint right now. He's got Atkins tucked in behind. Waters playing sensibly so far. Still Angus. The C350 keeps poking the nose, but nothing too ridiculous so far. Round the main straight they run. Keep your eyes on Boyle, who's opening up this racetrack. Atkins is locked to the bottom, and they've caught your leaders now. Here's a race.
If you tell me a VH Commodore is going to knock the pants off a C350 Mercedes, I'll tell you you're a liar. But look at Boyle go to the outside. Come on, Moama, make some noise. The little Commodore goes through to position number 2. Waters must be wondering what's going on as the Commodore may have a shot at the lead here. Angus, Boyle and Waters to battle it out to be 2 to run next time by.
Oh, that's so good. Ripping the outside. Keeps on pedaling the Commodore. They're locked to the bottom, except for that green VH. He's up there. Waters is having a big crack now on Angus. Boyle continues to hammer away upstairs. Atkins is locked low. Down back straightaway. Waters moves up a lane. Boyle around the top. It's a battle for the lead. Coming off turn 3 and 4.
Patience has run out for Jared Waters, and it may bite him here. He needs to finish top 3 to go pole position at the moment. Mick Boyle to the lead around the outside of Angus. Atkins buys in here. We're going to be 3 wide down the back straight away on the final lap. Boyle and the Commodore, look at the speed that Waters carries into the turn. Grandstand finish coming here in heat race 23, and the little Commodore gets it done. Mick Boyle gets an absolutely incredible win here in heat race 23 of the National Modified Sedan title. Come on, Heartland, make some noise. The little Commodore gets the win, Liam. That is incredible.
I'm going to call it. That's the best heat race of the weekend. That's a belter. Soak that one up, Mick Boyle. You beauty. Well earned. Mick Boyle rips the outside of Heartland Raceway Moama on 3 of the fastest cars in this field right now. Mick Boyle proves he deserves to be right up there. We'll have a quick word from our sponsors. Boyley's going to be up and about this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Heartland Raceway. He's going to be able to hear you now. Make plenty of noise. The pilot of the 52, Mick Boyle, rips the lip of this joint. Mate, soak that one up. That is the best heat race of the weekend, and she's going away in your hands. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, not sure if I was allowed to do that or not, but I did.
Man, you've got to be happy with that. This thing was hooked up there. The crowd was going epic, man. We could hear it over the cars. You've got to be stoked with that. Who have you got to thank?
Just got to give a massive thanks to the old man. He's just done everything on the cars, been replacing bits all weekend, and yeah, he's been under it all the time, so thanks to him. And yeah, thanks to all the crowd for coming out and sponsors. And
you were sitting 49th in points after last night. How good's that feel today?
Yeah, no, definitely wasn't expecting to pick up the win. I was hoping just to finish, to be honest, but it yeah, no, it worked out well.
How's that for a piece of confidence as you head back to the pits and compete in the main events later on? Good luck, Mick Boyle. Folks, make plenty of noise once more. That's the best heat race of the weekend.
Yeah, everybody up and about here at the venue. That was very, very impressive as we get to our final heat race of the weekend for the Bendigo Metal Fabrications National Modified Sedan title. And your top points man from night number 1 will start from position number 8 in this one. He needs to finish in the top 3 to start from pole. Brett Barron, with it all in front of him, needs to move forward to the top 3 to start from pole in tonight's main event. It'll be Lucas Condor and Todd Atkins, your front row. Trish Dyke and Rodney Pimenta, your second row. Back to Stacey Garlick and Daniel Simpson, your third row. Martin Hawson and Brett Barron, your top points man from night number 1. Rachel Pratt and Brad Wicks rounding out your field in this. Brad Wicks sitting 5th on points as well, with it all to do in front of him. Atkins, Wicks, Pimenta, Barron, Hawson, Pratt, what a stacked field for the final heat race of the weekend. Barron needs a top 3 to start pole. If he finishes 4th, he'll start on the front row. And the Glen Warren Charolais 1-4-8, all eyes on him. And there'll be plenty of support from the South Burnett Speedway Club in Kingaroy in Queensland. But it's Condor and Atkins that have control at the front of the field in this one. Final heat race of the weekend. We're bringing them in fast. And we're underway for the final time in heat race competition. Atkins gets a good start. Pimenta tries to go the outside as well. Switch back to the inside on Condor. It's Todd Atkins, Lucas Condor, Rocket Pimenta, and Barron charging through the field from the back. He might be at P5 or P4 by the end of this one as lap number 1 gets in the books.
It's as good a start as you can hope for Barron. Now he gets to go to work one by one. He's 2 spots from pole position right now. He's got Daniel Simpson in front of him, who is a fierce competitor. Former Victorian champion in the modified sedans. He's ripping the horse from 33 right now, in behind Conda in the 9. Todd Atkins is digging the 36.
Brad Wicks back in 6th position at the moment. Very high up in the points as well. Todd Atkins looking to convert this to a heat race win and lock himself into night's A-main. He was just out on points after night 1 as Simpson pokes the nose on the inside of Lucas Condor. Tries to convert that to 3rd place down the back straight away, and the VS Commodores go side by side into turn number 3. Condor sticking up top, tight on entry. Has some purchase off the exit of the corner though and goes back past Daniel Simpson. Racetrack handy as I've just put my foot in the mouth, and Condor goes around in turns 1 and 2. Just got the marbles right at the top of the racetrack, Liam, and all that hard work undone.
Wow, that was shaping up to be a big one, wasn't it? You know what that does fall right into the hands of is that Q148 of Brett Barron. They're going to bunch the field back up. He didn't quite have the speed for Daniel Simpson, but hours of this morning has done wonders for this surface right now. It's tasty. It's easy to forget too, Todd Atkins has only been at the wheel of these modified sedans for only about 3 seasons. And they've been COVID-riddled seasons as well, where much of the racing has been cancelled. So compared to a lot of the other guys in this class that have been doing these things for 20-odd years, Todd Atkins is vastly down on race experience, but certainly not on talent. Todd Atkins leads this field away. Rocket Rodney Pimenta, Daniel Simpson, high points, Brett Barron, he's searching for it. Locked to the bottom. Doesn't look like he has the speed for Simpson right now. Things could change as the laps wind down in this one. Wicks is searching on the top side of that racetrack as well. It's a brand new car this weekend, the Australian Race and Rally Services Midnight Fabrications V17 is digging the top. Brad Wicks ripping by Brett Barron. Side by side they run into 3 and 4. Have a look at Wicks.
Yeah, this is a crucial battle here for Brett Barron. If he stays 4th, he'll be on the front row. If he finishes 5th, he may well be 4th, 5th or 6th in the starting spots for tonight's national title. Wicks on the top, goes back around the outside of the cow herder. And Brad Wicks levels up, just pokes the nose in front, washes in a little bit high in 3 and 4, but there's some purchase up there. And the big bad Henry drives back past the VS Commodore Brett Barron.
This is a cracking final heat race. Marty Horson's got the field set up behind him, deeper back. The top 3 are spread out. Todd Atkins has his 36 on rails. Pimenta in 2nd from Simpson. And Wicks is just blowing the top off this racetrack right now. He's committed to stay up there. And Brett Barron locked to the low side. A fair bit of push that Wicks is battling, but this thing gets off the corner like a bullet.
All eyes on 4th and 5th at the moment. Todd Atkins is going to greet the white flag for the final heat race of the weekend. Barron and Wiggs still battling it out. This is the front row spot on the line for Brad Barron. Todd Atkins is flawless though in heat race 24 of the Bendigo Metal Fabrications National Modified Sedan title. And the Club 36 Innovations BA Falcon will come from turn 4 and get the win in heat race 24. Pimenta with a big swag of points in second. Simpson third. Brett Barron holds on to 4th position. Brad Wicks will finish 5th. How about that? Moama makes some noise for Todd Atkins in the 36. Gets the job done in the final heat race of the weekend. He's going to have a chat with Liam right after this.
The Wandon Heavy Haulage Tri-Tank Lubricants number 36 removes the helmet and he's going to receive another Speedway Australia cap as he turns the engine off. The 36. Ladies and gentlemen, at Heartland Raceway, Moama, make plenty of noise. He's now a returning heat race victor, Todd Atkins. Man, you've got to be stoked with that one. 2 heat race wins at the national title, and you've only been wheeling these things for a few years now.
It's my first national title in modified, so yeah, absolutely stoked to be able to go out and win some heat races. So yeah, and, a massive thank you again to everybody who's got us here. Yeah, anybody that I missed in the last one. Massive thank you to Wayne, Dylan and Linda Burrows, all their help throughout the weekend. Brock, yeah, massive thank you to him with his new deal at Elite Shock Services. I wish him luck in that. Massive thank you again to Perry McCow from Tri-Tech Lubricants, and a massive thank you to yourself and everybody on the Ash Media for putting on such a great media event as well. Thank you.
Man, you guys run such a pro outfit as well, and no one really notices the work that goes into it behind Club 36 Innovations as well, your own racing program and trying to balance school and all that sort of stuff that goes in behind it. Man, you've got to be proud of yourself and this team. You guys have worked so hard for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really proud of the team and how far we've come from just being a little team who has no idea what's involved in getting a modified on the track to being somewhere near the front. So yeah, hopefully that puts us somewhere decent on points and we can have a decent final and hopefully get our second finish for the season. It's been pretty tough this season. We've only finished one race so far, or in my case we've only finished one race, but yeah, hopefully we can make something happen.
Let's make this the one that counts. Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise for Todd Atkins in the V36, driving for Wandon Heavy Haulage, Club 36 Innovations, and Tri-Tech.
McCarthy will start from pole in B main number 2, setting up a massive 3 big final races for this National Modified Sedan title. Super Sedans Heat Race 3 on the track now, Maury, and this place is coming alive tonight.
You're certainly right there, Jared. The track has opened up. That last race with the Supers, they got out there. I think the boys up there in the pits on the hill there were having a good look at it. And where did they go? Brad Wicks is driving that last one. Former Super Sedan driver, Wixie, and he was just awesome. He gave it his best shot. Didn't make it, but he gave it a good shot, I can tell you. Righto, we got down there. We looks like Dave McKenzie on pole, and the 22 Tassie 22 of Callum Harper, Mick Nicola Jr. It's Andrew White, Kim Jury, Lucas Roberts, Ben Falkhead, and Lionel West. They line up 8 cars. Rolling around for the start. Green at the ready. Green's out and we're away, and as Callum Harper jumps to the lead. Sticks to that high line, but Callum Harper does it easy. Andrew White slips into 2 as Mick Nicola Jr. has a bit of a look at 3. He's up there, he's got the nose up there. Ben, Dave McKenzie on the outside. Nicola McKenzie keeps the boot into it there, side by side. Nicola's got the drive, and he'll run up into 3 at this stage. McKenzie back to 4. Have a look at Lucas Roberts running that high line. He loves it up there in that concrete. Loves to go around now. The track's time come in a bit. He's not scared to stay up there on the fence. So Lucas Roberts, he's rubbing the fence just about, but it's not doing him any good. He's gone back a bit as he drops to the rear. Out in front, Callum Harper doing it easy now from Andrew White. Mick DeCola Jr. starting to range up on White, having a bit of a look. They've got away from McKenzie. Forkhead's back there, then Jury, Lionel West and Lucas Roberts. Roberts still having a bit of a look on that high line. He's liking it out there, but you also got to make up some places, Lucas, and the back's not where you want to be. Callum Harper's getting away from him. Callum Harper lapping in a 19.072, so he's getting around there reasonably well, as Andrew White running a 19.538, as Callum Harper a 19.072. Lionel West down at the back there, having a battle there with Lucas Roberts and Ben Forkhead. West and Forkhead are both mates. Now Lucas Roberts having a look to run around the outside of him. He gets around the outside of West. Got to come up now on Forkhead. Can he go round? He's right there with him. Lucas Roberts just on that middle track now. Forkhead gets out of the corner better. We've got a challenge for second now as Nick Nicola Jr. comes through to take it off Andrew White. Andrew White on the high line though. We'll come back to take it back. And not for too long though. It gets handed back again to Junior. Junior hanging in there. Our leader doing it comfortable now. A 19.072 is still his best time. As Mick DeCola Jr. starts to get away. Oh, White's come back at him already. He's right there with him. Lucas Roberts still back there. We've got a pass move by Dave McKenzie on Jury. They're side by side, further back in the field. Nicola's hugging the pole line. White likes it up high. He's staying up high. Here comes Roberts now around the outside. No, he's on the inside, I should say. That was Dave McKenzie on the outside. It's Lucas Roberts now having a bit of a look there at Jury. He's got a long way to catch these other ones. Half a lap behind Harper. Lucas Roberts now comes in on Jury. Big slide up high. Jury down low. Roberts, has he got the drive out of the corner? He has. Lucas Roberts drops it in. Oh, Jury, something's broken that car. He went up high. I seen sparks come out from underneath it as we go yellow. I was that excited it was all over. A great race there by Callum Harper with the win. 19.072 his best time. Mick Nicola Jr. picks up second in the V23 with a 19.441 as his best time. Andrew White.
For those that were in the later heat races to turn these cars around, give them every opportunity to make it out. I just can't quite make out who we're missing at the moment.
I was thinking that myself. To plough through the paperwork.
It'll be the VA14, I believe. So Michael Wicks is who we're waiting on in that beautiful EL Falcon for Midnight Fabrication. He's due to start from position number 4 in tonight's B-Main as the pit gate remains open. We wait and see if the Wicks racing team can turn around that car. Remember, he was involved in that scuffle.
Oh, Jared, the gate's getting closed.
Oh,
that's a tough break for those boys. They've worked so hard to get those 2 cars turned out for this event, and the pit gate closing over will signal no 14 of Wicks. We can just pray now that we still see the Brad Wicks number 17. There should be nothing wrong with that car. And we should see Brad up on the hammer of the V17. That is a tough break for Michael Wicks and the Midnight Fabrications. Wicks Transport Team. Yellow lights are out, ladies and gentlemen. What a field we have for B-Main number 1. Down the back straight away, it's Rocket Rodney Pimenta. On the inside of Speedway Australia, rising star Alex Sweeney. Back to Matt Gerlach, Zach Swanson, Scotty Angus. Paul on the outside. Boyle, Young, Clark and Mortimer. That's a belter top 8. Let's rock this B main number 1. Pimenta leads into 1. It's an epic field that followed. Our first main event of the weekend for the National Modified Sedan title. There's panels flying off, cars everywhere. Coming to turn 2. Pimenta's going to lead the opening lap from Alex Sweeney and Matt Gerlach. Gerlach now puts a big move on Sweeney up to P2. The Octane Alley Performance 14 has a big push, but he continues on in position number 2. Alex Sweeney has that final transfer spot in the Queensland 108.
Yeah, Sweeney in the bubble spot at the moment. So we fire down the main straightaway one more time. Angus on the outside looking in. Pimenta tries the top in 1 and 2. Just a little exploratory lap for the U-Design Living. Number 8 out of Queensland. Still leading comfortably over Gerlach. Back to Sweeney. Pimenta missed the bottom a little bit that time in 3 and 4. Will lead us down the main straightaway as we put 3 laps down with 17 to run in B main number 1. Sweeney has dropped back and will be under pressure from Angus, Swanson, Kevin Young and Clark. He's got a little bit of a gap back to Angus at the moment, but the front 2 have checked away here in B main number 1. That's exactly the start that Gerlach and Rocket Pimenta needed.
Sweeney sits in a pretty comfortable position right now. He's got open track in front and behind, but she is a fierce field of 4 cars battling for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. It's Scotty Angus from Zach Swanson, from Kev Young and Lenny Clark breathing fire from the same game number 8. You'd think they're battling for a transfer spot right now as Scott Young is locked to the bottom. Clark through, not able to make that move. Angus holding out that battle still. Sweeney in a comfortable position. We're going yellow with Hallett on the infield in the Flash V15.
Yeah, Hallett facing the crowd here on the main straightaway. Unfortunately turned around. I didn't quite get a good look at what happened.
No, and I missed it too.
And B3.
Gerlach. Sweeney had dropped back a little bit from the front too, but Scotty Angus didn't have anything for him in those first 5 laps in B main number 1. It was a hornet's nest behind him though. Swanson, Young, Clark, Mick Boyle and Chris Reich were all on the hammer trying to make something happen here in B main number 1. Top 3 will transfer. Sweeney, the last car getting in from B main 1 at the moment as we're set to go back green here, Liam. 15 to run.
Rocket Rodney Pimenta leads the 8 into turn 1. Gerlach is locked to that rear bumper. They just need to be smart here, this top 3, and muster up a result. They need to lock out that top 3 and not let Scott Angus have a bite in, but he's given it every chance right now in the 72. Scott Angus putting pressure on Sweeney in the 108. There's Zach Swanson, Kev Young, Lenny Clark. Their race could be over in 15 laps time if they don't get a move on.
Clark, Young and Swanson all on the back half of that front battle pack. Look at the speed that Swanson closed on Scotty Angus that time. The 72 FGX Falcon Ramsdale Wreckers on the door is on the outside looking in, but he's under pressure and gets some contact from Swanson. We're going to turn him around in turns 1 and 2. And that will be a big, big decision incoming for the Chief Steward up here in the tower. With it all to play for in these B mains, nobody leaves anything on the line, and sometimes we overstep the mark.
Well, this will be exciting. Pimenta from Gerlach, from Sweeney, from Swanson, Young, Clark, Reich, Boyle and Garlic. We're green. The Rocket runs her in the 1 and 2. Gerlach glued down. Does anyone move up high in turn 1 and 2? They don't. They're all glued to the bottom. Well, the Angus cars exchange blows now. That's a big loss for Scott Angus, who lost so much ground at the tail. Oh, Kev Young is slowed and Clark's into the side.
will go yellow here because everyone's coming up onto the back of the 71 at a rate of knots. We're still green so far.
Can he get it down? There's no way he's going to know he's got clear racetrack behind him.
It's scattered the field here in B main number 1, and we are going to go yellow. I thought he was going to the top of 3 and 4 for a big move. But he may have just been pulling out a line as the car struck dramas. Horson slow on the main straightaway here as well. Uren took a tour via the infield. It's all happening in B main number 1, Liam.
She's a brutal one so far. Losing a few cars. Not standing the test of this race so far.
It's trying to grip and drive off something that's way more abrasive. And every time you do that, you heat the tyre up. And every time you heat the tyre up and cool it down, there's a chance you may not switch the tyre back on once you get going again. It'll be a talking point for the feature race later on, and it's probably going to be a talking point in these 20-lap B mains, Liam. Pimenta bring him in on the high line, trying to get some drive off the juicy stuff, and gets a pretty good start from Gerlach. Sweeney got a good jump from Swanson, and your front 3 check out as they go into turns 1 and 2 with 12 to run in B main number 1, Liam.
Pimenta into 3 and 4. He's just got to keep doing everything right the way he has so far. Matt Gerlach locked down in second. Sweeney's got the front end hopping around in the 108. And here comes Swanson. Lenny Clark has collapsed the right front. He's got damage, and Lenny Clark is infield as well, Jared. He was right up in contention. Mick Boyle now sits in position number 5. This could be monumental.
Yeah,
the way cars are dropping out.
Certainly still a chance for Mick Boyle here to make some forward progress. Lenny Clark was about 3 foot off the ground. He straddled the curb and got to the infield. Sweeney now on the final spot, the final transfer spot in B main number 1 under big pressure from Zach Swanson in the wanted heavy haulage number 15 from Victoria. The VS Commodore has eyes for the back bumper of the 108 and has 9 laps left to run to get something done. Horson goes upstairs and goes around the outside of Mick Boyle, tries to convert that into 5th spot as Boyle's starting to struggle here now, Liam.
Yeah, it's not a good racetrack to have a flat left front tyre. We've got so many other cars that are on the infield for that exact problem, and Boyle's still muscling the VH around Heartland Raceway Moama. Tell you who has speed is Marty Horson. Whether there's laps for him to wind down a massive deficit right now to that battle for 3rd and 4th in the transfer spot. Marty Horson has some work to do, but he's the fastest car at that back group of cars.
Horson making some progress, but he'll need a yellow here. He's working that top lane and may have something if he gets a yellow. Pimenta still leading from Gerlach, and they're comfortably at the front as Swanson now goes upstairs and looks to the outside of Alex Sweeney. The Genesis Equipment 108 is under big pressure here for the final transfer spot in B main number 1. This is for 21st starting position in tonight's 40-lap national title. Boyle retires to the infield with Mortimer. As we wind through the laps, there's 5 to run this time past the strike.
Swanson will tear Sweeney's heart out if he sees this 15 go past. They're continuing to battle away, and I'll tell you who is making ground, but probably a little too late, is still Marty Horson. He's got the Commodore hooked up right now. Swanson having a big look on the outside of Sweeney. Sweeney's been the sitting duck all race long. Swanson and the Wandon heavy haulage go on the top side. Side by side they run. Swanson poking the nose. Sweeney better off the corner. Down the back straight away into 3 and 4. There's nothing in this, Jared.
And this is for a spot in the biggest race of the year. Swanson, Sweeney, side by side down the main straightaway. And Swanson just gets the nose in front into 1 and 2. Victoria 15 on the top side. Sweeney tries to fight back on the bottom. And it looks as though Swanson may have done enough as they come to the strike and get 2 to run. Pimenta and Gerlach look home and hose from here, but it's Sweeney and Swanson battling for the final transfer spot, Liam.
That's just tough luck for Alex Sweeney. It just wasn't enough at the tail. He's not out of this one yet, but he's got 4 car lengths to Swanson. Pimenta goes around lap traffic now in Peter Angus as the white flag waves of B-Main number 1. Matt Gerlach's ran with him the whole way. That Octane Alley performance, B14. Zach Swanson now sits a comfortable third in that final transfer place into 3 and 4 for the final time. Your B-Main number 1 winner is going to be Rocket Rodney Pimenta. From Matt Gerlach through for second. They're coming by lap traffic again is Zach Swanson taking third from Alex Sweeney. Marty Horson, boy did he make ground. Paul in behind Horson from Dale Hallett, from Casey Garlick. Was able to get back out there after a DNF in her final heat. A piece of the bonnet coming up on the Scott Angus 72. Heartland Raceway Moama make plenty of noise from the man down from Queensland driving the Q number 8. Rocket Rodney Pimenta takes out B-Main number 1.
Pimenta will start from position number 17 in tonight's National Modified Sedan title. Matt Gerlach will start from position number 19. And Zach Swanson does the hard yards and he will start from position 21 in the final row in tonight's National Modified Sedan title. B-Main number 1 done and dusted. B-Main number 2 set to roll out onto the racetrack very, very soon. We'll let these drivers go straight back to the pit area and get to work on turning these cars around for the 40-lap feature race. Very, very soon. We'll take a quick commercial break for those tuned in at home and we'll come back with B-Main number 2 right after this.
So we think we might have split them again, have we?
Yeah, so this will be heat race number 4 for the Super Sedans tonight, Maury.
Yep.
And this will be the final heat race for these guys. So for everyone tuned in on Speedway Sedans Live, powered by Pro One Race Parts, B-Main number 2 will be up next. And then we'll take the Super Sedan feature race before our national title. So not too far away from getting things underway. Looks like the green flag is almost at the ready here for the Super Sedans, but they may do one more rolling lap, Maury.
I think they will. The yellow's still on at this stage.
Very impressive work from the Waters family as we just look at Speedway Australia's Nev Ross doing his best work. I think it's Nev's birthday actually. So if you're on the socials, give Nev a shout out. Doing some wonderful work for Speedway Australia. And Benny Bish down there making a wonderful cameraman. Super Sedans almost set to go. And I mentioned it was both Cam Waters and Jared Waters, the brothers that have now started on pole for a national title A-Main. Their father, Chris Waters, of course, also started from pole in a national modified sedan title, I believe at Murray Bridge back in 1999. So that's very, very impressive, Murray.
It is. It certainly is a family connection. The green's at the ready as we roll around. Westy leads them away, but it's big dust cloud of dust from the line. Straight into the lead goes Ash Bergmeyer. Oh, we've got a tangle there. We've got a tangle. White has come together. Who's he got across the front of him? I think that's McKenzie, Dave McKenzie. Yeah,
Dave McKenzie parked up there with the nose cone of the number 23 rocket chassis over the left rear, unfortunately, Maury.
Yep, can you get off the mark quick enough? Green's down and we are away, and it's Bash Bergmeyer again straight away. Callum Harper has a bit of a look on the inside, but the pole line here is brilliant. It's probably one of the best pole lines you'll ever see in Speedway, because if you get up on it, the steward sees it straight away, and it's no advantage. Westy has a bit of a drop there on Harper. Harper has the horsepower. Westy's still trying, but Harper's got him now. And not West, I should say. Yeah, Westy is back into third spot. Harper into 3. Now the junior's up there. Mick DeCola Jr. makes the move look so easy, slides through. Lionel West giving a lot away in horsepower with this car's what would you call it? It's an older car, an older statesman of racing, but still does a great job. And Westy still has a lot of fun out there. Very talented man in the motor industry, Lionel West. Our leader, Ash Bergmeyer, fresh from Eastern Creek last night. He's quite comfortable. As I said earlier, he was telling me Eastern Creek, the track was just really good. He really enjoyed it, and he said it was well worth going. Just the trip up there to see the sprint cars on the opening night was really worth it. So it's great to see that Sydney has another speedway again, even though the pot cost was $76 million. They spooked about it. Righto, back in fourth place at the moment. It's West from Dave McKenzie. Andrew White just can't make an impression. He's having a look on the outside. Having a go now, Andrew White. Up the outside. Jimmy Harris sitting at the back there. So White moves around on Dave McKenzie. He's come up on West now. Drops to the low line on the inside of Westy. Westy still keeps the boot into it. Andrew White right there with him. Tips it in. Got the line now as they come out of the corner. Andrew White will take the spot off him, but it's fourth spot. Up the front, Callum Harper goes around Ash Bergmeyer. He has bided his time, taken it bit by bit, lap after lap. He has moved up and now he's in the lead. And 6 laps down and 2 laps to go. So Callum Harper doing it pretty easy, but that's what you'd sort of expect from a national champion in any time of day. Ashberger back in 2, the South Australia Vic champion in Michael Nicola sits back in 3 with White in 4, West in 5, McKenzie in 6 and Harris, the newcomer to Supers, they tell me, doing a good job there. He hasn't got himself in any trouble and he's still on the same lap, so he mustn't be doing too bad. Callum Harper takes the checkered flag, Ashberg by a second and Mick Nicola gets it over for third. Fourth place will go to White, Lionel West, Dave McKenzie and Jimmy Harris.
My favourite thing about that heat race, Maury, was Callum Harper ran the top like a boss for that entire distance. He really did a good job of sweeping that top lane, which will certainly come in handy when B-Main number 2 rolls out shortly.
Yeah, you're dead right there, and he did it so easy too, just sat up there and bided his time, and that's the sign of a real champion, when they don't rush into things, don't panic, just take their time, and that's where they get there. Hopefully we'll see that in these next 2 races coming up. The B-Main. B-Main's usually known for their aggressive tactics. Is that a nice way of putting it, Jared?
Yeah, that's probably pretty fair, I would say, Maury.
B-Mains, they're the desperates. They're the ones that got to win to get there, to make it to the A, and it's all about making it into the A, even if you start at the back.
Roycroft and Redcliffe have made it out as well, and they will join Nathan Shortis on your final row of your grid. 20 laps on the counter for B-Main number 2. Bringing him in at a cracking pace, McCarthy and Shelford to set the track alight in B-Main number 2. We're underway for 20 laps and a ripping start from Shelford. Shoots straight to the front and he opens the door for Nelson on the outside, who looks to level up with Wade McCarthy as the fireworks go off in the background here at Heartland Raceway in Moama. And Shelford will lead lap number 1 of the B-Main number 2. It's a crackerjack race at the front, Liam.
Nello is peeling the top side off this racetrack right now. They're the final transfer spot Nello sits in right now. That Waston Oils number 61 is Matt Nelson. He moves back to the bottom side and Wade McCarthy now. They rip into 1 and 2. It's a gaggle of cars in behind that, but they're not affecting the final transfer position so far. Wow, Shelford is in field. The Queensland champion and the race leader pulls in field. Now this is a battle for the transfer spot. Tangles and Brad Warren. Lockie Fitzpatrick up the inside. Warren back to the top. Now we got a race on our hands.
Heartbreak for Shelford as McCarthy and Nelson now 1 and 2. Brad Warren levels up on the outside with Tangles, and Warren looks like he's going to move into position 3. Fitzpatrick on the inside with 3 wide for the transfer spot. Down the main straightaway here at Heartland Raceway, Tangles back to the bottom, and Fitzpatrick and Warren will go to work now for the final spot in tonight's A-Main.
How good was that? 3 wide down your main straightaway for the transfer spot. Nello is still going to work on McCarthy. They can just settle those 2. They're a long way out in front right now as Fitzpatrick and Warren go to work. Then it's Tangles and McDonald. McDonald's ripping the top of this place now too. Tristan McGraw and Graham West go to work. Rachel Pratt's trying to come through. It's Sean Thompson, Lucas Conda, Aaron Bunt and Honda's going to go around. Do the cars miss him? I think they all will. And you can take a deep breath.
Wow, we got away with one there, Liam.
It could have been massive, couldn't it? There was still 8 or 9 cars to come through after Conda, and turned her, looking straight down the racing line.
Looks as though there may be an issue with something at the rear of that number 9 machine. Remember, they looked at that a little bit earlier in the heat races. Yes.
McCarthy from Nelson, from Brad Warren, the final transfer spot right now. We're alight. McCarthy fires her into one. The yellow and blue Falcon is locked to the bottom side. Have a look at Brad Warren trying to put the move on Nello. This will give Matt Nelson the move along he needs. And here comes Lockie Fitzpatrick go the bottom. This is a cracking race at the front of this show. Only 3 spots on offer. Fitzpatrick isn't done with yet.
All to play for here as we wind down B-main number 2. 14 laps left on the counter and Brad Warren looks impressive. Fitzpatrick, Tangles, McDonald, Westy, they all belong in the A-main. We're only going to take 3, and McCarthy, Nelson and Warren have those spots at the moment. McCarthy locked on the bottom, doing everything he's got to do at the moment. Nelson there as well. Brad Warren probably looks like the best car on the Raceway right now, but he doesn't need to do anything too silly as he's sitting in a transfer spot at the moment. Car is very free in 3 and 4 that time though, Liam.
Could this affect the leaders as well? Brad Warren probably has the fastest car on the Raceway right now, and Fitzpatrick has the speed to go with him. They're battling further back, but that's the end of most of those cars weekends, because we're looking at the front right now in that final 3 transfer positions. Fitzpatrick is still within arm's reach of this final spot. It's McCarthy that leads from Mildura. Matt Nelson in second, Brad Warren in third. And Lockie Fitzpatrick is the first car to not make the show right now. He needs to fire a shot at the 84 of Warren. Nathan Shortest pulls to the infield as well now, Jared.
Speaking of firing a shot, Nathan McDonald moves upstairs now in the Lenmac Automotive, number 32. A former 2-time Australian title runner-up. He goes upstairs. He cleared Tangles into position 5, and if he gets a yellow, he may have a sniff here at the front. McCarthy, Nelson, Warren, all locked on the bottom. Fitzpatrick missed a little bit that time. And Nathan McDonald going the long way around the racetrack. Everyone else is doing 510 metre laps. He's doing 600 up the top. The Lenmac Automotive 32 trying to catch these front 3 cars as your 3 cars in the transfer spot really start to bunch up here, Liam.
McDonald's look like the easiest handling car on the track right now. McCarthy looks like he's fighting this thing to keep it locked to the bottom. He's got to use plenty of brake down there and hold it down. Wow, we're in for a belter now. Fitzpatrick is closing in. McDonald is ripping the top of this place. Is this going to come down to the line in a big way? McCarthy, Nelson from Warren.
McDonald. We have gone yellow, Liam, as it looks as though Rachel Pratt possibly turned around on the back straight away in the 94, and she's got the pigeon toes happening at the front of that machine and will require more than a wheel alignment, I would imagine.
It's the breath of air that we needed, but certainly not what Wade McCarthy needed.
It was everything Nathan McDonald was hoping for and more. He's up there doing the hard yards, sweeping the top line for himself. There's 1 or 2 other cars running the top through the field, but McDonald, the pioneer out the front at the moment, he sits in 5th with plenty of potential to make something happen here with 8 to run in B-main number 2. Yes, it's certainly all to play for here. Don't count Tangles out. Don't count Westy out. In that advanced engine dynamics, number 56 from Bendigo. Tristan McGraw, I should say, just behind him. I keep channeling my American country music. Superstars. Tristan, certainly not out of this either. He's had pace all weekend. It's all to play for here with 8 to run. McCarthy, Nelson, Warren, all on the inside. Fitzpatrick, the first one on the outside looking in. Who has got something for this front three with 8 to run in B main number 2? McCarthy goes to the bottom, as do the top 3. And everyone behind starts to fan out and try to find some purchase across the racing surface. McCarthy will lead through 3 and 4. Nelson just missed the bottom that time, but gets good purchase off of turn number 4 in the waste and all 61. Warren now starting to slip back a little bit from the front 2 cars as Fitzpatrick and McDonald go to work here. It's now or never for these guys because it's 6 to run next time past the line.
And Mac peeling the top off this joint. Fitzpatrick's fallen back from Warren, and here comes Nathan McDonald. The best presented car of the weekend. Yellow is out on the raceway, and it's Thompson that's come adrift between turns 3 and 4, and we will reset again. Struggling to get a rhythm in this one. Big dance. She's a big ask from this point. He's the first car on the outside. She needs a big pedal from the young man from Maiden Gully, Victoria now. Light go out. Time will tell. There's not too many left on the board now. Wade McCarthy, Matt Nelson, Brad Warren, Lockie Fitzpatrick and Nathan McDonald are your top 5. We're green at Heartland. So Wade McCarthy rips us into 1 and 2. And Matt goes the top. Nathan McDonald trying to work over Lockie Fitzpatrick around the outside. He's committed up there. Fitzpatrick glued to the bottom right now. Nathan continues to wind up the 32. Could he clear this time into 1 and 2?
McDonald is coming on the top side, moves through to position number 4. Heartland, get ready to get on your feet because McDonald's making the top line work. Sails it into 3 and 4. That's the final spot in tonight's national title. On the line, and the man from Maringandan in Queensland sails a 32 in. Brad Warren won't know what's coming and needs to run the bottom to absolute perfection. McCarthy, Nelson still 1 and 2. Warren on the bottom as McDonald inches ever closer. It's like bit by bit he has to reel in. Every lap has to be inch perfect on that middle lane, Liam.
Oh, this is exciting. Nathan McDonald continues to wind her up. Nelson's looking for the lead as well, and McCarthy, here comes McDonald. Side by side for the final transfer spot. Nathan McDonald clears. It's side by side, he had the nose in front. Oh, this is going to go to the line. Nathan McDonald on the top side with Brad Warren. The top 4 is anyone's guess right now. They're shaking this thing up in a big way. Nelson glued to the bottom. Nathan McDonald the top, Brad Warren on the bottom.
McCarthy, Nelson, Warren and McDonald. There's going to be one very, very disappointed driver in 2 laps' time. McCarthy out the front as Nelson under pressure now from McDonald, trying to cement his spot in tonight's national title. Crowd is absolutely glued to the action as Warren fights back here. We're side by side for the final transfer spot past the line. Last lap in B main number 2, Liam.
Nathan McDonald is your final spot right now down the back straight. Brad Warren is not going to bow out of this one easily. Warren fires the final shot up the inside. Nelson, Warren, McDonald. It's going to be Nathan McDonald. The final spot. That is as good a B main as you will get. Heartland Raceway Moama. Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, as they wind them down, make plenty of noise for Wade McCarthy, who takes the victory from Matt Nelson. But folks, how's the drive on this man from Queensland? Nathan McDonald makes the show.
Come on, Heartland Raceway, you can do better than that. What a drive for the final transfer spot. Heartbreak for Brad Warren, but McDonald seals position number 22 in tonight's National Modified Sedan title. What a ripping second B main here. We'll take a very quick commercial break and come back with plenty more action trackside here.
You never know. It's a big, wide, fast racetrack, and it's open right up now, so Junior might get there.
And for everyone tuned in on Speedway Sedans Live, Maury, powered by Pro One Race Parts, this is your Super Sedan feature race for tonight, and following our Super Sedan feature race, it is the all-important National Modified Sedan title, not too far away from our big 40-lap feature race for the Modified Sedans, so don't go too far. The Super Sedans will be pretty impressive as well. Grab yourself a snack, put your feet up, grab yourself a beverage and get comfy, because it is the big end of the night. It's feature race time for our two divisions here, Maury.
Righto, lights are out and they roll around for a start. Tassie 22, Callum Harper. He's won a few national titles. He knows how to do it. The green at the ready. Victorian South Australian champion beside him in Junior. The green's down and Junior gets a beautiful start. Harper on the inside. Junior goes round the hard way, but the fast way, and they come out of the corner. It's still Harper, but only just. Junior right there with him. Junior trying to run a high line, and it's working for him, but Harper gets a car length on him. Ashburn Weiss wants himself in a third spot there, and the rest of the field starting to sort themselves out. I think it's White, or is White? We've got a problem down there and into the wall. Something's gone wrong with the Ben Forkhead car as he runs it up into the wall. It's like he had no steering there, he just didn't turn at all, so whether he's lost some form of front end. Just let the crash crews do their job, get out there and make sure everything's okay, but that car just seemed to turn straight towards the wall and never looked like he was going to turn. It looks like there was some contact with Lionel West. Righto, the Tassie 22 to lead him away, Callum Harper. He can go any time now he likes, and he's away. Harper now, he commands this race, and it's up to the other boys as to what they can do with him. Out in front, puts the foot down, gets a couple of car lengths on Nicola, who's got the same on Bergmeyer. Have a look where they want to run. Andrew White goes down on that low line, but everyone else has moved up the track. White sits back there in four at the moment behind Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer lost touch already with Nicola. White still having a bit of a look down there low. And here comes Lucas Roberts having a bit of a look at up the middle. What can he do? Roberts slides up the inside. White wants that low line, but it's not working for him. Lucas Roberts now on Bergmeyer. Straight up the inside on Bergmeyer goes Roberts, does the big slide job up onto the top line. Bergmeyer comes straight back at him. Lucas Roberts, beautiful slide job there, and it's actually worked for him. He's got himself back into that third spot now, and he's going to hang on to it as they go down the back straight again. Ash Bergmeyer back to four. I think the White car, Andrew White car, there's a lot of backfiring going on down there, and I don't know whether it's him or not. The jury sits back there, you keep on hearing his pocket. It might be Dave McKenzie too. I can't tell from up here in the commentary box. The headset on, I just keep on hearing a bang every now and then. Jimmy Harris sits at the back of the pack, and he's just cruising. They said he's the new boy on the block, so he's learning his trade and he's keeping up. Not a lap down or anything, so he's doing the right thing. But out in front, Callum Harper, doing it easy, Callum Harper now. He's got 8, 9, 10 car lengths on Junior. He sits back there trying to work his way up, but Lucas Roberts closing that gap up ever so slowly, but he's getting there. He's within a car length of him now, so Lucas Roberts, the pressure will come on Junior very shortly. Lucas knows this track very well and loves to run the high line on this track. But at the moment, he needs to get down low and get quick, and that's what he's trying to do. Seems to be mid-track, seems to be the place to be for the pace. Callum Harper, have a look, here comes Lucas Roberts now. The pressure's on, he'll know he's there by now. He puts the foot down a bit. Ash Bergwire, he's just sitting out there in the middle at the moment. White having a bit of a look at him. Kim Jury sitting back in no man's land by himself at the moment, trying to close the gap up, but out in front it's still Callum Harper. Lucas Roberts still trying on Junior. Junior's just keeping it there nicely at the moment, driving his line. Ash Bergwire's been sitting beside White now for a couple of laps. Two totally different lines these cars are driving, and you can see, but nothing's changed. They must be pretty equal on pace. Bergwire just sits there. Lucas Roberts now he'll know he's there because he got right up beside him. Has a bit of a look now. Lucas down the back straight, what can he do? It's a drag race, and Junior goes in deep under brakes. Lucas Roberts still right there with him, but Junior closes the door, comes down low, says to Lucas, you're going to have to go around the other side the hard way. He's not going to let him in straight away. Jimmy Harris sits back. He's half a lap behind the leaders. Not doing bad. He hasn't got into any trouble at all. Bergwire and White still side by side. Nothing much going on there. They're just side by side. Kim Jury's caught up though, and this might change things back here. They're running for 4th, 5th, and 6th place, sitting back there as Harris goes through out in front. Harper doing it easy. Harper's just in that groove, and he is just staying there. Lucas Roberts, he's tried the high line, he's had a look at the low line. He's just trying to work out which way he can go. Bergwire, nothing much change down there in the second little group of cars there as Bergwire sits on that outside line, has been running that line for the whole race, and White just sitting on the inside trying to work his way. Kim Jury's virtually got nowhere to go. He has to get through these cars, and they will not part themselves. They sit side by side. Lucas Roberts again back into it. Lucas Roberts Junior. Roberts this time does another big slide on Junior. This time it might stick. Lucas Roberts, what can Junior do? Roberts is up into 2, Junior back to 3. Now he goes after Callum Harper. Got a way to go. How's the laps going? 4 laps left in this race. He needs to get a move on if he's going to catch Callum Harper. Harper pretty comfortable there. Roberts starting to pull away from Junior. He's got the boot into it now. Lucas Roberts, Junior. The other pair back there are still sitting side by side. They have been there lap after lap after lap. Jury would be getting frustrated. He just got nowhere he can go, and as they sit side by side. Lucas Roberts, he's closed the gap right up on Callum Harper. Now they'll come round, should be white flag next time around. We've done 18 laps, so next time around will be the white flag, and Roberts will see that and know that he's got to do something. Harper's only 1 car length in front of him now, and the pressure will come on Harper. I think there's Roberts now, straight up beside Harper. They'll look at the white flag. This will be a drag race now, and Harper suddenly realises it's on for young and old. Lucas Roberts on the outside, it was on the inside, trying to do a slide job, and Harper just got the boot into it. Harper pulls away 2-3 car lengths. Roberts comes back at him, but it's going to be Harper, or isn't Lucas Roberts? It's going to be Harper. Harper Roberts back to Nicola Jr. and on the line Bergwire goes through on White, back to Kim Jury. Then we go back to Dave McKenzie. McKenzie then back to Jimmy Harris, and a good race there. At go to woe, it was not a go to woe because we had Ben Forkhead break down. But Callum Harper with the win in the Super Sedan feature. The Tassie 22 takes it out. Second place will go to the VO series of Lucas Roberts, with third place going to Nicola Jr. in the 23. I think we've got our trophies down there on the infield for the presentation for the Super Sedans. Have you got them down there, Liam? Do you have the trophies down there, Liam, or not?
I think they're going to do them back down in the pits. I don't have any trophies here, so I think they're going to do the Super Sedan presentations back over in the pits, Maury.
No worries, thank you for that. They told me there was trophies coming up for them. So, I'm only the commentator. You don't have to tell me too much.
Better left in the dark.
Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Great drive there from the champion that he is, Callum Harper. Always puts on a good show, and one of the top drivers there. The boys will get their trophies down the pits. The crowd's allowed after the race meeting's over. You can come down the pits, see the drivers, get autographs and everything else, have a yarn with the drivers and that. They'll all be down there having a well-deserved beverage of whatever they pertain of. Some people like water, some people like coffee, some people like beer.
So I introduce our 22nd starting spot, our last chance into tonight's 40-lap main event. None other than the Q32 with Nathan McDonald.
Thanks, Chief. All the best, mate. Thank you. Congratulations on qualifying. Thanks, Peter. Good luck, mate. Thanks, Peter.
Starting out of position number 21, it's the Victoria 15. Make plenty of noise, Heartland, for Zach Swanson.
And this bloke will have plenty of fans right up there on their hill. Make plenty of noise for your 20th starting position. Driving the V61, Matt Nelson.
Hailing out of Avalon in Victoria, the number 14 for Octane Alley. Make some noise for Matt Gerlach.
And this man calls Mildura Victoria home. Give it up for the V6 of Wade McCarthy.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Starting in position number 17, he hails from Gowrie Mountain, outside of Toowoomba. Make plenty of noise from Queensland, Rocket Rodney Pimenta.
Starting in position number 16, you'll find this bloke at the Ready Pub searching for a palmy, driving the N number 0, Ty Galley.
Qualifying in position number 15 for the Perry Family Farms, number 32. How about some noise for Brodie Christie?
This guy will be stoked to be in the main event, driving the V34, Jay Nicolaisen.
Rolling out a brand new car this weekend, he will start from position number 3 from Bendigo, the number 17. Make plenty of noise for Brad Wicks.
This young bloke driving the V number 5 has done his family proud this weekend, driving the True Design Homes V5, Darcy Wilson.
There is some noise around here at Heartland. It's wonderful to hear, and we're going to keep it rolling for the former Victorian Modified Sedan champion. The number 33 will start from position 11. How about some noise for Daniel Simpson?
He will start from position number 10 on the grid. Another Mildura Victoria car, driving the V19, David Smith.
Hailing from Townsville in the Dan's Automotive, number 25. One of the most likeable characters in Queensland. Make plenty of noise for the big Cortina. It's Adam Jorgensen.
Starting out of position number 8 in the immaculate Q23, Tim Atkins.
Starting from position number 7, the Club 36 Innovations Wandon Heavy Haulage Rocket Ship, piloted by Todd Atkins.
At position number 6, Todd's older brother, driving the V number 0, Brock Atkins.
Starting out of position number 5, the always immaculately presented AC Delco Victoria 11. Come on, Heartland, plenty of noise for Nick Cockrell.
the best, Robert.
Moving on to position number 4 on our grid, driving the N15, Max Clark.
Good luck with it, buddy.
Your reigning and defending National Modified Sedan champion from Torquay in Victoria. He's had the one on his door for 1,051 days. Make plenty of noise for Kai Walters.
Your front row sitters now, driving the Q148, Brett Barron.
Good job, mate. All the best.
Grab a quick word with Brett. Brett, talk to us about what it means to be able to qualify on the front row of the National Modified Sedan title.
Oh, mate, this is terrific, eh? Like, we weren't even coming, like, with work commitments and all that, and we had a window of 5 days to get down here, and I said to Grubby we weren't coming, and then Shrew said, let's nominate. So, yeah, to get on the front row of these fellas, yeah, I'm ecstatic. Yeah.
Mate, you've certainly done Queensland proud. I look forward to seeing this Q148 right at the end of this show.
Well, let's hope the old VS can rattle a few cages.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Brett Barron.
And starting from pole position in tonight's 2022 National Modified Sedan title, replicating the efforts of his father Chris Waters and his brother Cam Waters, your pole sitter tonight in the V92 for NZ, the Mercedes C350. Make plenty of noise for Jared Waters.
Thanks, mate.
Good luck, mate. You're going well.
Good luck, Jared. Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Jared, such a storied family that you've come from. Your brothers, your cousins, there's so much going on in the Waters family. What does this mean to be a 3-time pole sitter in the Nationals?
Yeah, Dad was off pole. Cam's been off pole. I didn't think I'd be here from like when we started building the car. Like, this has kind of blown me away this weekend. But I think we've got it in the window now. But we'll see what happens after this race.
The most expensive driver at the Calcutta. It started the weekend off well to be the favourite, and now you've made every possible chance to put this thing right at the front. Any tactics heading in? Do we set her up for the end, or are you just going to go hammer and tong right the way through?
Well, man, you got to be there at the end. That's it. Any of these guys can win this thing. There's so many fast guys here. I rate them higher than myself. So,
Mate, this is a belting field. Good luck in the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise for your pole sitter. Tonight's 40-lap A main, driving the 92, Jared Waters. Well, the field is set, Jared. What a main event we are in for. It's an incredible lineup. So many stories from the tail right to the front. And the current national champion straps in at number 3. So we watch the drivers climb in to the cockpits.
The hairs are standing up on the back of the neck right now, Liam. It is title time here at Heartland. And we'll ask everybody standing along the fence now, please head back, take your seats, get comfy. Make sure we don't block the view of anyone for this massive 40-lap national title coming up. Waters, Barron, Walters, Clark, your front 2 rows as we start to fire some of these cars into life. Drivers getting strapped in, officials making sure everyone's A-OK. Crews checking on their drivers. Jorgensen gives the thumbs up for everyone tuned in at home on Speedway Sedans Live, powered by Pro One Race Parts. When we get these cars rolling along, we'll send them in that wonderful 4-wide salute for everybody tuned in at home and everybody here at the venue. Darcy Wilson has the game face on, Liam. It is time to go. It's National Modified Sedan title, 40 big laps coming up.
This is the one moment that all of these guys have waited for 3 years now. And it's finally become a realisation we're going to run the National Modified Sedan title once more. Such a spectacle to see these guys climbing in to the vehicles before we let them fly, and we go door to door for 40 grueling laps. The nerves must be at an all-time high. This is the moment that the modified sedans work all season long for, to crown a number 1. The hairs are up, the hands are shaking. I cannot wait for this thing to get underway.
It is an absolutely stellar looking field. crews have done a ripping job all weekend. We know the track was trying on night number 1. Night 2 is delivering. Thumbs up from the drivers. Wade McCarthy is pumped up. Matt Gerlach's pumped up. Everybody keen for this big 40-lap main event. So many former champions in this field. So many young guns who are starting to make a name for themselves in modified sedans. And intensity at an all-time high this weekend. They're just awaiting the signal and the last drivers to strap in and lock the window net in. You get to sit in your own little world, be amongst your own thoughts for the next 2 or 3 minutes while you roll around before this national title gets underway.
And the last totally free breaths of air, because the rest from this point onward are going to be laboured. Almost ready to send them away. We're waiting for the last of the crews to head back to the pits. The cars are under fire now. The Brett Barron Q148 breathing heavy. This is going to be a monumental feature race. This is what all of these guys have been fighting for. And we are just moments away from them joining the Raceway here at Heartland Raceway, Moama. Folks, thanks for joining us here at the track, from the crews right through 3 and 4 and everyone up there in the pit tents. Thanks for coming out. All those crazy units in front of the bar here on the main straightaway, everyone under the pit boxes. We couldn't ask for much more. A capacity crowd at Heartland Raceway, Moama. This is what you've all been waiting for. It's your national modified sedan title field. Take to the clay.
Cars rolling away and will settle themselves into a starting lineup. Get themselves accustomed to who's starting around them. Get themselves settled in the cars. Crank the belts tight one more time. Then we'll send them on that wonderful 4-wide salute for everybody here at the venue and everybody at home watching in on Speedway Sedans Live, powered by Pro One Race Parts. Thank you to Bendigo Metal Fabrication. Thank you to Dave Roberts and the entire crew here at Heartland Raceway for putting on this wonderful title. Thank you to the drivers and the teams for making the effort to travel. And thank you to our Speedway Sedans Australia officials and volunteers for making this weekend happen. We are here to put on a show for everybody on the hill and everybody around the world tuned in right now. National title glory awaits these drivers, and it is the ultimate in our sport as we start to send these drivers 4 wide here at Heartland Raceway. There is no better sight in motorsport. And when these drivers roll to the main straight, I want you to get nice and rowdy here at Heartland Raceway. This is the Bendigo Metal Fabrications National Modified Sedan title. And as they roll into the main straightaway, Heartland Raceway, out of your seat and on your feet. This is your class of 2022 and the National Modified Sedan title, going 4 wide past the strike. And what a sight it is. 22 of the best in the country. And Liam, it is almost go time.
That sight just takes your breath away, doesn't it? That camera angle from the boys committed right there on the main straightaway is going to be one of the coolest sights I think we've ever seen. We roll around 4 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're around there on the back straightaway or into turns 1 and 2, be upstanding, make plenty of noise. It's your field for the National Modified Sedan title presented by Bendigo Metal Fabrications. Continues to idle around. They're going to come now to the pit fence. And everyone up there in the marquees, wave your hands around, make plenty of noise. Cheer on your drivers. We've got any Jared Waters fans up in the house. He rolls right through the pit corner. Jared, this thing's going to be huge.
Yeah, this is a monumental moment in the National Modified Sedan title. This is just as much for you on the hill, the pit crews that have slogged their way through a massive 3-day event, and everybody here on the main straightaway. Come on, Heartland, one last time while they're 4 wide. Make plenty of noise for your 22 starters in the National Modified Sedan title. There is no finer sight in motorsport, and it puts goosebumps on the back of your neck. The hairs stand up as you see these drivers put on a show before we get underway for this massive 40-lap main event.
So they start to clear the engines and pull into the double file grid. 22 cars, 11 rows deep. Crown a National Modified Sedan champion. Jared Waters on the front row with Queensland's Brett Barron. The current National Modified Sedan champion Kai Walters lines up in position number 3. Can this guy do it once more? Driving the N15, Max Clark outside row number 2. This is such an epic grid. It's littered with talent from the front to the back. Folks, continue to make plenty of noise before we go lights out to set this place on fire, Jared.
When you build a racetrack like Dave Roberts has done, these are the moments you live for. Thank you to Dave and the whole crew here at Heartland Raceway. Lights go out. 40 laps on the counter. 22 of the baddest modified sedan pilots in the country. We are stacked, packed and racked, and your 2022 National Modified Sedan title is green here at Heartland Raceway, Moama. Waters with a good jump into 1 and 2. Walters locked on the bottom, and will try to make that work as Barron's shuffled back to 4th now. Clark goes through as well, and it's a good start. Everybody makes it through 1 and 2 for the first time, Liam.
Yeah, ripping through 3 and 4 now. Will the first lap go in the books? It will. And lap 1 is run and done. Jared Waters leads your opening lap of this 40-lap main event. Kai Walters ripping right with him. Cars are everywhere, and we're yellow in turn number 2. I can see Matt Gerlach as a definite. The Octane Alley V14 has come a rest.
Yeah, Galley had a big moment in 1 and 2, leaving Pimenta, Wicks, and nowhere to go. No front bar left on that car, and a flat front left tyre for the RCP machining number 8.
Such a tough break, Jared. They worked so hard to get to this point. And blown left rear as well on the Pimenta number 8. Not going to be happy with that one.
And your big mover and shaker in that opening stanza, Brock Atkins, jumped up 2 positions. He started on the outside of row 3 and finds himself in 4th position now. So that's 6th to 4th in 1 lap. Important for Brock Atkins early here as the lights go out. Liam, we're not too far away from getting back underway. 39 still on the counter.
Walters from Clark, Atkins, Cockerell and Barron. It's a very late launch. Clark side by side with Walters. Atkins is up the inside of Clark. That was a very late launch, and Walters having a big look at Waters now. The cars are bunched up in the field. We're going to go yellow as Matt Nelson spins to 61.
And that all stemmed from that late start in turn 4, Liam. Everybody backed up and checked up as they all tried to make their way to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. We saw guys like Atkins dab the brake and stab the car in, and everybody checked up behind. Brett Barron had a big moment. Tim Atkin had a big moment. Jorgensen had a big moment. They're all trying not to get in the car in front, and unfortunately, Nelson left nowhere to go, Liam.
Yeah, and I've got Matt Gerlach down here now as well. Matt, you're in pretty good spirits. There's not a lot really broken with the car. She definitely won't go any further, but just wrong place, wrong time, mate.
Yeah, you can't see a thing back there, and I think I'd vote 1 for tractor tyres over like a motocross jump for a pole line, and it just broke a lower control arm, man, and I shouldn't have been in the B anyway. I should have kept my head and not wrecked it following tangles in the last heat, right? So it'll be right.
Hey, that's it, mate. Who have you got to thank, man? The car's been a bullet all weekend long. It's not how you wanted to end, but I'm sure your crew have worked hard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, massive thanks to Mum, Dad and Gilbert, and also to Kai's crew. First people to come over apart from my crew to just help out. Thanks to Octane Alley Performance, INJ Speedway Equipment, McAlpine Crash Repairs, Aikman Engineering, and Horsham Auto Wreckers, man. Gilbert helps us out a bunch, so I just feel bad for them.
Mate, our heart goes out to you. We'll see you fighting another day in the AV14. We look forward to seeing that Octane Alley machine backpedaling again the way it should be. Matt Gerlach, he always speaks so well, even when, you know, he's hard to be broken right now to not be still inside this race. He still speaks so well of his team and the Kai Walters team over there, pitching a hand as well. Set for another start. Waters from Walters, from Clark and Atkins. Still another staggered start. Waters can go whenever he wants to. It's the benefit of being your pole sitter. So Waters from Walters, from Clark, Atkins, Cockerell. Todd Atkins is up there now too. Here comes Jorgensen with a big move up the inside. The Queensland 25 and ripping the bottom side. The little Cortina goes to work on Atkins.
Atkins went around the outside of Brett Barron, and Brett getting shuffled back in the field here. Unfortunate as Kai Walters poked the nose on the inside of Jared Waters. Walters and Waters had a ripping battle back in 2018 at Blue Ribbon Raceway in Horsham. It was Cam though that weekend, and his brother Jared Waters leads the title here as Brock Atkins now fires to the inside of Max Clark, and the King's Royal Champion levels up with the former national champion in Max Clark. Side by side in a 3 and 4. Atkins on the bottom, Max Clark on the outside, hanging tough. Brock Atkins though has good purchase as we're side by side for the lead here, Liam. We don't know where to look.
The top two battles are epic right now. The Mercedes-Benz for NZ Mildura currently leads. Kai Walters, your reigning national champion, has a big bite of that concrete curb. Brock Atkins is side by side with Max Clark. Atkins crosses the stripe in front, that third position, but Clark is still peeling the top side. Cockerell is tucked in tight, and here comes Todd Atkins now too.
And we've been hanging for this all weekend. Max Clark can hang tough on the outside, and he made that nearly work. He stuck with Brock Atkins for 3 or 4 laps. There's a lane there if anyone wants to get up and sweep it. Jared Waters still leads. The car looks a little bit ugly on turn entry though, as the Mercedes tries to lock down the bottom lane, and Kai Walters will not go away. He continues to pester that beautiful Mercedes C350 out in front. Back to Brock Atkins in third, Clark fourth, then Cockerell fifth, Todd Atkins sixth, Tim Atkins seventh, Jorgensen eighth, Simpson ninth, Darcy Wilson in 10th.
Brad Wicks is ripping the top side deep in the field. He's putting a move on Brett Barron, who just doesn't have the speed in this main event. He started outside the front row and he is deep in the field right now. Wow, here comes Brock Atkins. He has caught Kai Walters in a big way. The Portland registered number 0 is pedaling the top on the Australian champion. Kai Walters is second, but Brock Atkins is up the inside. Side by side, these two boys race each other all season long here in Victoria. And right now in New South Wales, Moama, they go hammer to door for positions 2 and 3.
With 10 laps in, there's 30 to run this time past the flag stand, and Brock Atkins levels up with Kai Walters. Side by side into 1 and 2, the national champion on the bottom, the King's Royal champion on the top, and Brock Atkins will move into position number 2. 10 laps in, 30 to run as Atkins makes the top lane work. Walters fights back on the bottom, but Brock Atkins determined to do what only Kai Walters has done before and win the double in one season, being the King's Royal and the national title. This race is developing beautifully, Liam.
That V0 sits so nicely on the top side of the track. The Merc's got to be locked to the bottom, but the Atkins machine sits perfectly up the top. You'd have to thank that Elite Shock Services package that Brock has underneath that car. After taking on that business after the Druids in Mildura, Brock Atkins has the handle on that shock package. He gets into the back of the Merc big time. They continue on, but far out. Brock Atkins used up a big piece of rear bumper on the Merc.
Yeah, that was a hold your breath moment. The Merc is not comfortable on turn entry. Atkins has so much more entry speed into 3 and 4. Look at him close in this time. Runs the top perfectly. Jared Waters is tight as can be on the bottom. And Brock Atkins, having the season of his life, is closing for the lead in the National Modified Sedan title.
And we spoke to him about what it would mean to win the King's Royal and win the National Modified Sedan title in the one season. He's now sitting in the best possible place he could be in. To make that a reality, he battles Jared Waters for the lead. Kai Walters has not at all stood out of this one. Atkins with the slide job. Waters continues on the outside, he'll drive back by. This is a massive battle for the top 3.
Side by side for the lead, and Victoria's Best is showing up at the national title. Atkins with the slide job on Waters. Waters stands up and goes back around the outside as we're level. Across the line with 24 to run. The Merc stays up on the high side, and he may have found something there as Jared Waters gets some good purchase down the back straight away. Brock Atkins staying right with him. Goes upstairs and is so much better on turn entry. Look at Kai Walters sniffing around the bottom here, Liam.
Zach Swanson retires in field. Waters sticks to the outside. How's the slide job from Brock Atkins? He commits to the bottom. This is a huge battle for the lead. Brock Atkins clears. Waters goes back up top. Way up top this time. Atkins clears and he's going to lead his first lap of Heartland Raceway. Brock Atkins got the job done on Jared Waters, and now comes Kai Walters.
Atkins to the lead now. Waters second, Walters third. Max Clark starting to inch his way further forward. Cockrell runs fifth, back to Todd Atkins in sixth. Tim Atkins seventh. Darcy Wilson, Nathan McDonald and Simpson rounding out your top 10. Impressive from some of these guys making their way through the field. But Brock Atkins is running a mean line in 1 and 2. And he'll go back to the top in 3 and 4, alternating at different ends of the racetrack. The top looks fantastic in 3 and 4 now, and everyone starting to move to the top and sweep up there. As those tuned in on Speedway Sedans Live, powered by Pro 1 Race Pass, looking at a magnificent battle between McDonald and Darcy Wilson. McDonald came from the last spot in tonight's A main, and he runs in 8th position.
Darcy Wilson making a massive name for himself this weekend. He's moved up a bunch of spots as he battles with Jorgo through the middle of the field. Walters puts the move on Waters. Kai Walters is now up to P2 after a big move on the Merc across the bottom. Kai Walters switches to the top side. Waters occupying the bottom in the bends. Max Clark is by no means out of this thing. He's half a straightaways back behind, just waiting for a mistake from the top 3. Clark battling the bottom. He's going to come upon Jared Waters now. The Merc is still quick, but Atkins and Walters have the track position to hold this race steady.
23 laps down and 17 to run here at Heartland. And Victoria's Best are standing up. These 2 young chargers putting on a show at the front. Max Clark, the former national champion from Grafton in northern New South Wales, moves through to third. And the Mercedes is struggling on turn entry. Atkins and Walters look fantastic, but Max Clark looks exceptional on the bottom as Todd Atkins makes a move on Nick Cockrell, and he'll move himself into position number 5 now. Cockrell with a little bobble, car looking unsteady. Back to Tim Atkin, Jorgensen, McDonald and Daniel Simpson at the back end of your top 10. Jorgensen just got swamped there and he may have dramas. We've run a massive 23 laps straight here as we start to wind toward the penultimate part of the National Modified Sedan title.
Waters searching for speed up high, but he just doesn't have the handle on the car as well as Brock Atkins does right now. The thing is sailing around the top. and he's committed to run there. A little bit of cosmetic damage on the front of the V0 isn't going to bother him. He's got lap traffic to contend with in a few laps' time though. Adam Jorgensen retires infield. He finds a steady list of throwing cars down here on the infield chute. This will be interesting. There's cars 2 lanes wide right now. Ty Galley and Jay Nicolaisen at the tail of the field, and they're not going to know that Brock Atkins, the race leader, is approaching fast. And then they've got Brett Barron in front of that as well. So Galley and Nicolaisen in their own race right now. But here comes the race leader, Brock Atkins, searching on the top side. He's got 2 cars to deal with immediately.
It's time to make it work in lap traffic as Atkins goes to the bottom now in 1 and 2. The Victoria 0 from Portland closing on the back of traffic. This is Walter's chance to buy in to the battle for the lead. Atkins on the bottom now. Galley and Nicolaisen 2 by 2 across the track. The ESS car makes a little bit of contact with the lap cars as Nicolaisen balks on the bottom. Atkins tries to muscle his way through in the lap car, and look at Kai Walters closing now. Really starting to reel in your leader. He goes to the top in 3 and 4. Brock Atkins on the bottom. Clark closing here too, and we're going to have a grandstand finish with 10 to run.
Hart is absolutely in the throat right now as here comes the reigning champion. As they battle through lap traffic. They've got Ty Galley and Brett Barron in front. Here comes Kai Walters across the bottom. Galley climbs the fence and we're going to go yellow. Holy cow, Jared Ash. Can you believe the race we have watched so far?
What a national modified sedan title we are witnessing here. Kai Walters will be devastated because the lap traffic was forcing Atkins to run the bottom. And Kai's car is so much better through the bottom. All on the table here.
It's been as good as it gets, honestly. Yellow lights go out. Hart is in the throat. The race lies in the hands of Brock Atkins, the King's Royal winner, and looking to make it the National Modified Sedan winner. If he can hang on for 10 laps, but he's got the reigning champion right on the hammer. Kai Walters has been good across the bottom, but here comes Max Clark. Clark searching on the bottom. The Commodore has been rocket quick all weekend long. He finds the slick stuff. Walters and Atkins move upstairs, and we have a race on our hands. This top 2, they follow each other from top to bottom. Walters inside the left rear quarter now. Atkins and Walters are side by side. Into 3 and 4. Walters looks at the slide job. It's on for young and old. Walters in front from Atkins.
Contact into 1 and 2. Walters led lap 32 as Atkins tries to fight back. Brock Atkins in the Victoria 0. Levels up down the back straightaway. Slide job for the lead. Atkins gets tight though. Walters switch back underneath. This place is electric right now.
Your National Modified Sedan title is a belter. Atkins has a big tight moment. Walters hops across the curb. He grabs a heap of sparks as well. This thing is shaping up to be massive. Atkins leads. Walters goes back to the top. Waters now into 3. Todd Atkins in 4, Jared.
Don't count Jared Waters out of this as Todd Atkins now tries to find the last spot on the podium. His older brother leads as Nelson retires to the infield. It's Brock Atkins, Kai Walters, Jared Waters, and Todd Atkins, your front 4 cars. Brock Atkins doing everything he can to scratch and claw and hold on for the National Modified Sedan title.
Todd Atkins is searching for that step on the podium. He has worked so hard for it. The Club 36 Innovations, number 36 out of Hamilton, Victoria. This young man is searching for a spot in the top 3. He's come from behind the top 6 and he's now up to P4, but he's got Max Clark in behind in a very fast Mercedes in front, occupying that 3rd spot on the podium. Atkins and Walters continue to go bumper to bumper around the top side of this place. And the slide jobs are imminent. Atkins goes back to the bottom and Walters shifts down there now as well. Jared, this thing can go top to bottom right now.
Kai Walters and Brock Atkins. Looks like they're going to be the two to battle it out. They're going to come to the strike this time. There's two to run. Intensity starts to live here at Heartland Raceway. Brock Atkins runs the bottom in 1 and 2. Kai Walters absolutely ragging the Australia 1 as they shoot down the back straight away. Jared Waters of the Mercedes trying to buy in here as well. It's Atkins, Walters and Waters, your top three to battle it out. White flag comes out here. It's the final lap in the 2022 National Modified Sedan title. And Brock Atkins making every post a winner. He's a former National Junior Sedan champion. He's the current Kings Royal Modified Sedan champion. And Brock Atkins in the Portland Zero is your 2022 National Modified Sedan champion. Walters home in second, Jared Waters third, Todd Atkins fourth, Max Clark fifth. What a belter of a National Modified Sedan title, Liam.
I am speechless, Jared. Listen to Brock light this place up. Ladies and gentlemen of Heartland Raceway, Moama, make some noise for your new National Modified Sedan champion. Did he work for that? Ladies and gentlemen, what a race we have just witnessed. Everyone back at home, I hope you've tore the coffee table to pieces back home in the living room. What a race. Be up on your feet, ladies and gentlemen. Salute this field. What a race it was from the front to the finish. Kai Walters, Jared Waters, Todd Atkins, Brock's younger brother, steps up in fourth as well. That's such a cool moment for the Atkins family. Greg and Kelly and the whole family, Cassie Wicks and the Wicks family and everyone that's behind this team for Wadia Works, Club 36 Innovations.
Our top 5 cars pulling up on the infield. It was a valiant effort from Kai Walters. Exchange slide jobs and exchange paint for the lead. And as Brock Atkins rolls away, make some noise, Heartland Raceway, your new National Modified Sedan champion.
Listen to him stomp the engine of that V0 and now the AUS number 1. I think we're in for a show here too.
The engine builder will be very, very nervous right now. He's going to burn this thing down. Atkins, impressive. He flew under the radar all weekend, Liam, and he just struck at the right time as he makes some circle work in turn 3 on a pit hill. How about some noise for your new national champion?
That's so good, right there in front of the crews. Oh, make noise for this man. He does so much of the racing development for this team himself. Between him and his younger brother Todd, Greg and Kelly and everyone will be there getting behind him, and his partner Cassie, and so much goes into this. It's a monster moment for this family.
As the team runs across the infield to greet their driver, brother Todd, the first one in the window. An emotional victory for the Atkins family. And very well deserved. A quietly spoken man does his talking on the racetrack as bump.
Man, this is such a cool moment. Jared, his dad, leans in and gives him the pat on the chest. Now, so many drivers coming down to have a chat to the new national champion. Climb aboard the Zero, Brock. You've earned this one, brother. Oh, it's just such a cool moment as he greets his family and the whole crew down here. That V0 is now a big A1. And Kai Walters as well, one of the first guys to come down and congratulate him as well, Jared. That's such a cool moment between these two boys. That could have gone any way. I was really up in that thing. And his younger brother Todd gives him the big hug now as well. And Todd running up inside position number 4 is monumental for those guys.
Yeah, wonderful result for the family. Brock Atkins gets the win. Walters home in second. Waters third. Todd Atkins fourth. Max Clark your top five. They'll be on the podium with Liam down in the infield and all of the Speedway Sedans Australia officials and dignitaries. Liam, we'll let you get a quick word straight out of the car with our winner before the podium presentations, just to get those raw emotions.
Brock, you are now the Australian National Modified Sedan Champion. How does that feel?
Dreams do come true, man. That's crazy. I've dreamt of this all my life. Like, as far as I'm concerned, modifieds are probably the pinnacle of SSA at the minute, and the car numbers and everything is unreal. So to me, if you can do this, yeah, I've been wanting to do this all my life. So this is what we've been working for.
Mate, you and your whole family, everyone that works in around this team, your partner, the Wicks family, there's so much more that goes into this than just you saddling up for 40 laps. Hell yeah, you did the best job you could have, and you've just won that in 40 laps. But man, this is years worth of building that you guys have just topped off.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, a lot of people don't realise we started racing when we were 10, so we've been doing it for like 14 years without a break. So we've been working this for a long time. Mum and Dad, they're the reason we're here. So yeah, really cannot thank them enough. Todd, Cass, everyone who works behind the scenes, Dylan, Linda, and Wayne Burrows, they've been travelling around all of the state, all the country actually, to crew for us. And it's muchly appreciated. Everyone on the car, Wadia Works, Trig Engine Developments, Adam Holt Industries, Tritech Lubricants, Club 36 Innovations, Cush Clothing, DC and TM Auto Alex, Lowen Steel Construction, and Hayward Hydraulics. Rad Industries, I've probably forgotten a dozen, but there's so many people who help out. Yeah, I'm lost for word.
Mate, it was such a cool moment to see Kai pull alongside you with that 10 laps to go. Just show the nose, let you know he was there, man. That was such a cool sight to see from the fans on the hill, and to see Kai, one of the first guys to come up and congratulate you, shows the camaraderie in this sport, mate.
Yeah, for sure. Kai's a fantastic competitor. You can always count on him being there, and I'm not going to lie, he spooked the shit out of me when he came up beside me, because that thing's intimidating. But that's cool. Yeah, I'm blown away.
Mate, your brother to get up to P4 as well is massive. You wouldn't have been able to see the race, but man, we were cheering him home from the hill, from the infield, from the crews. They were all going off for your younger brother, man. That's such a cool result for him too.
Yeah, for sure. Also a big thanks to Ian Kay. He did some work on both of our cars over the weekend, and yeah, that's really appreciated too. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be gracious with your applause and make plenty of noise for your new National Modified Sedan Champion, Brock Atkins. So we'll head to the podium and deal with the rest of the presentation, and we'll come over here and spot the rest of our top five. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we move straight into our top five presentation for your National Modified Sedan field. Please be gracious with your applause. He's won this event before, and today he steps on the podium in position number 5, driving the 15. Make plenty of noise for Max Clark. Get you to join me up here. Max, that was a pretty grueling 40 laps, man. You just had to be there. You showed your nose. You were right up there in about second and third spot. That race could have gone anywhere, mate. It was a belter to watch and to call.
Yeah, I think we buggered up the tyre choice after how hard the track was on tyres last night. And yellow didn't help us, that's for sure. But yeah, congrats to Brock. He's been on top of it all year. Kai's always up the front, and yeah, everyone else.
Max, who have you got to thank, mate? This car looks immaculate, and you were fast every time you hit the Raceway this weekend.
I got to thank my partner. She puts up with me. Yeah, spend a lot of time in the shed and the kids. My brother just put a motor together to come down here. Who else is there? Oh, there's plenty of people. Mark for the tyres. Global Lubricants, and everyone else that helps. I know who they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise for your 5th place finisher in tonight's main event for the National Modified Sedan title, Max Clark. And this just gets cooler and cooler for this family. In 4th position tonight, the National Modified Sedan title, driving the 36, Todd Atkins. Todd, how good's this moment, mate? Both of you boys able to step on the podium at the big one.
It's unreal. I think it's bloody so cool to think that we've done this twice, and you know, there's not many families in Speedway that have done that. So I don't know, but the main reason for that is Mum and Dad. They're our biggest supporters, and yeah, they would do anything for us.
Man, we're absolutely stoked for you. This, as you said, is such a family moment for you guys, both your partners, everyone that works so hard on this crew. You yourself, I know you spend so many hours back in the shed trying to make this dream a reality, and tonight this is a massive moment for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well, the hours that we put in coming up to this event were probably less than what we'd done for any other event. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm lost for words what to say. I really don't know. I'm just so proud of our whole family for what we've achieved.
Soak it up, Todd. You'll be able to spend 12 months thinking about that one, mate. Fourth place in the National Modified Sedan title is Todd Atkins. And third place in tonight's National Modified Sedan title. He was your pole sitter, and he was right there through the middle. Challenged the leaders the entire way out of Mildura, Victoria. Driving the 92, Jared Waters. He's going to accept the board and the trophy from the Roberts family and Speedway Sedans Australia. We'll grab a quick photo and bring you up here, Jared. Jared, you may have changed the game with that Merc maiden tonight. She's Australia number 3. How does it feel?
Man, that's pretty good. I'll take that any day. Man, these kids, I'll call them kids because they're nearly half my age, but congratulations to Brock and Kai, man. They are so quick. And man, Brock deserved that. He drove the wheels off it. He earned that. So.
Man, you put up a great race. The top 3, 4, 5, 6, you were right there through it. You led a couple of laps. You were right there on the top side. You never let those two go either, which is a never say die attitude, and the Merc put up one hell of a race.
That's it. You can't back off. So about halfway through, it dropped a cylinder or something. So I was running like a bit of a chaff cutter. But I don't know if it helped because it didn't. It dropped some power. So.
Man, I think she dialed up pretty good on the top side. When you're able to move it up there, it looked like it was a little bit more of a handful at the start of the race, but she came in pretty good by the end.
Yeah, it felt like. I don't know. The calf was probably pretty good, but I'm worn out now. Man, that was hard work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Australia number 3 now in the National Modified Sedan title is Jared Waters. And second place today. He's held the Australia one for so long now, and tonight he hands it over to a good friend. He drove one hell of a race in the Australia number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, be gracious with your applause for Kai Walters. Kai, you guys just put on one of the best National Modified Sedan title races I think there has ever been. Second place must still feel pretty good. I know it's going to ache in your heart a little bit not to be able to claim the one for once more, but man, you'll be back, and second is nothing to poke a stick at.
Yeah, no, it's been an absolute honour to hold the number 1 on the door for what it was, 1,000 and how many something days. So that was cool, and no, we're still proving points, still up here. So no, it was a bit of a slider fest at the end there. So I hope we put on a show for everyone and everyone that was bagging the track yesterday. I think they deserve an apology. That was one good racetrack. So yeah, just massive thanks to the Roberts family for the track and the whole Heartland club and committee and whoever runs the show, and all the Speedway Sedans Australia and Speedway Australia and everyone who helps get the show on the road. So and yeah, and all my guys back in the pits and for massive effort, and yeah, not quite, but nearly.
You're one of the biggest fans and family networks, always up there in turn number 4 cheering you on, mate. It's such a cool family operation you guys run. You're Australia number 2, and it's got to still feel pretty good. That race will be on the highlight reel for a few years to come. Congratulations, make plenty of noise for Australia number 2 now, Kai Walters. And this family will be on top of the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please be up on your feet. Make plenty of noise for your new National Modified Sedan champion, Brock Atkins.
Seems such a shame to lose the bucket hat.
It's a belter, wasn't it? I think he'd be happy to lose it for this one. Climb up here, A1. Brock, we spoke to you right after the race. There's no way that's had a chance to sink in. Does it feel any better now you're up here with the Australian champion hat on and the trophy in front of you?
No, you can't get any better feeling than this. Yeah, I missed a few people earlier, so a massive thanks to Grant Bird, Grubby. He worked his ass off this whole weekend to put this show on, and I don't think he stopped all weekend long. So yeah, massive thanks to him. Like I said, that track was sensational. Thanks to the SSA crew, yeah, just everyone who makes it possible. And yeah, once again, all my sponsors, Triggs Engine Development. Simon's worked his ass off on our cars for a couple of seasons now, and it's really showing. And yeah, his work's great. Club 36 Innovations, Fringe Benefits of Hamilton, Wandon Heavy Haulage, Adam Holt Industries, Tritech Lubricants, yeah, all the sponsors on the car, all the sponsors of the event, and yeah, just everyone who helps out. And a big congratulations to all the place getters. So yeah, thank you.
Mate, so well spoken. We talked a bit before about the moment that 10 laps to go and we're yellow and Kai just rolled alongside you heading into 1 and 2 and rattled the cage a bit. Whether that was in his playbook or not, it would have worked a fairly good number knowing the national champion was right there and right on the hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. There's as far as I'm concerned, Kai's one of the best, and still is one of the best, obviously. He's been at the top of the game for a long time now, so anytime you can beat him, you've deserved it as far as I'm concerned.
Today, Brock, you joined the history books, mate. You won the King's Royal earlier this year, and now you're the National Modified Sedan champion as well. Soak it up, get some photos. I know it's going to take 12 months for this one to sink in. Congratulations, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, make plenty of noise for your top 5 in the National Modified Sedan title. Going to grab some photos with a very happy top 5 indeed. Jared Ash, what a race we've just witnessed, and the camaraderie between this category is just unparalleled. And Kai Walter's been one of the first to get in the car, and congratulate Brock too, is one of the coolest moments I've seen in a long time.
Yes, plenty of talent on display this weekend, and those blokes on the podium right now displayed plenty of it in this wonderful 40-lap National Modified Sedan title. A ripping event. Slide jobs for the lead, contact between the leaders, but everyone raced each other hard but fair. It was a wonderful display of Speedway Sedans Australia racing. On behalf of everybody here at the venue, Dave Roberts and the team at Heartland Raceway, on behalf of yourself, Liam, and Maury, it's been absolutely magic to bring you the National Modified Sedan title this weekend. Heartland Raceway has been a wonderful host to the 2022 National Modified Sedan Championship, with thanks to Bendigo Metal Fabrication. Everybody here at the venue, we hope you head down to the pit area, meet these drivers, see the crews and everybody that works so hard on these guys, have a lemonade with them and enjoy yourselves. Let's be all sensible down in the pit area, as these guys still need to go to post-race tech. But it's been a wonderful Modified Sedan title, Liam.
It's been an incredible one. This will go down in the history books for sure, and I'll carry it with me a very long way, Jared. A big shout out to Bendigo Metal Fabrications and the whole Roberts family that come on board to sponsor this moment with Speedway Sedans Australia. I've had an incredible time working with you, Jared, and Maury as well, calling all of the support classes and working with us all weekend long. This has been one of the most professional race meetings that's ever run, and this race will be on the highlight reel for many, many years to come.
Maury, you've seen plenty of amazing action around here at Heartland for many, many years. This would have to rate up there with one of the best features around here.
It would just about be there. That was the National Super Sedan title. This one, probably the two of the best races
that's been here ever. The super title would go to Woe, so sort of you've got to put that one right up there. But this one rates as one of the best races. The track come in beautiful in the end. A little bit tight yesterday, but today I don't think anyone could complain about the track. All the infield official Dave has here working, everyone. I'm sure the Dave and Helen Roberts would like to thank everyone that works here, because it doesn't happen on its own. It takes a lot of people to put this together, and it's come together beautifully.
Yeah, it certainly has been a magic weekend, Maury. Again, on behalf of everybody here at Heartland Raceway, thank you for your attendance here this weekend. It's been wonderful to watch this feature race unfold. For everybody tuned in on Speedway Sedans Live, on behalf of Greg Lind and the team at Speedway Sedans Australia, and with thanks to Pro One Race Parts, Cool Drive Automotive, Race Tech Steel, Kenco Shock Services, Kelly's Bodyworks and Cush Clothing for their support of our national title Speedway Sedans live streams. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you at Alexandria for the National Junior Sedan title in just a few weeks' time. We look forward to seeing that unfold as the Atkins family make themselves on the podium, and what a wonderful photo that will make for the lounge room wall in Greg and Kelly's house. A wonderful moment for the Atkins family. Soak it up. Very well deserved, and we'll tune in next time on Speedway Sedans Live. Drive safe, be safe, and enjoy yourselves. Thank you for your attendance this weekend.